to go live. And gotta pay attention to all of things in life so that everything can run. What do you mean? Go smoothly. That's the word we want. To go smoothly. And there's timing for everything. Definitely a timing for everything. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now if I can get the right screen. We've got to keep everything quiet. Okay. Learning to work with others. Now, what does that do to our energies? Hello, goddess. Learning to work with other energies is so important to understand. When you begin to wake up, when you begin to wake up, what happens? You begin to see things that others can't see. And then we have to remember that others can't see it. Now, when we see it, we get excited and we want to share that with those that we love. But if they are not into the same conscious level that you're in, they're going to think that you're nuts. You know, it can cause a lot of things to become out of sync. That can be a problem. That can be a problem because, well, when you're in different levels of consciousness, there's a part of you that doesn't want to go back living the old way. And the other person doesn't know that there's anything wrong with how they're living. Is there anything wrong with it? No. It's just that it doesn't work vibrationally for you anymore. And it's very important that you understand that your body now has a different frequency and it's going to vibe differently with your mates. This is a very hard thing to begin to consciously understand. It's I can only refer to it as the fine line. If you want better relationships, you have to understand how your energies are working inside of you, how your ego is learning to be just a lens and you as your authentic self emerges. It is breaking free from all of the old definitions and adding new information. There's many ways of doing this. And as I'm looking at all the beautiful people, it's good to see that you're here. Love the fact to know where you're all from. Now, normally my shows all have to do with letting spirit speak in the first 20 to 30 minutes. Then after that, you get free readings. But in this case, this is an energy medicine day. But this is also to do with readings. Yes, I will still supply a free reading for a minute. And then if you want paid, there is that option as well. You can also come on into the Zoom room and be with us or with me so that I can help you and guide you. And there's not this 30-second to 1 minute delay. You get faster timing, being more in sync. Being that said, understand what happens when you draw people in your life that you start to wake up to, like the people that you know, some people say, oh, they're just being fake. And these are the people that, you know, you can be described in many ways. You probably have run across them. But what do you do about it? Okay. When you're personally developing, you're going to become aware that people talk behind your back, or they talk inside their head. They got a bitch, they moan, and they cry, or they have to talk to friends that the same way. And there's a process that we do and to cope handling a deal or learning how to communicate and be friends with others. And this is what people do. Half of them don't even know that they talk it. Half of them don't think there's anything. And it's not that there's something wrong with them. It is growing in personal development. You know, it's not all about empowerment. But there's a great amount of work that needs to be done. You know, Goddess over here asked regards to a personal development over the next month. Now, that's an interesting thing. And believe it or not, Spirit will actually have a say in this. Oops. I just dropped my mouse. That's what it was. Oh, that's a clue. How can you begin to develop if you don't learn the language of your soul or spirit? Dropping my mouse doesn't give me the control of motivating myself, going where I want, getting that information. So what sometimes stops that, very simply put, is that you can feel disorganized. You're like, well, I know where these things are. I just can't find it. But getting in alignment can actually help you to stay on task with your soul. With Goddess, for instance, they said in the next month, well, there's going to be many, many light codes for everybody that's flipping on, a lot of them. Light code is very much your abilities to awaken, to see things different, to remember what your soul already knows. But if you're being more into your ego persona instead of your authentic self, and you don't know it, because ego is that over-identification with matter. With Goddess, one of the things that Spirit wants her to know is that indecisiveness, indecisive. Indecisions have been made. One word can help you understand energy to where it is on the kaleidoscope of life. And I'm indecisive. I see other people indecisive. I'm decisive, but then it takes a trigger and all of a sudden I become indecisive. And a lot of times it has to do with their energies being off. When the egg that's around us is broken up into the central meridian and the governing meridian and how it comes together, and if those energies are running backwards or if they're dislodged with emotions, then you're going to be more apt to, like, for instance, if I'm going to talk to Goddess here, the indifference. Now, indifferent doesn't mean, oh, I'm cold and I'm distant. Indifference can be that way you used as a coping tool. And a coping tool can be drugs, but it can be emotions. Because you have to cope, handle, and deal with the chaos that you're looking at, and you can't quite reject it, and you can't quite accept it. So then it goes, and you can't stop the thoughts because the emotions kick in. That's a chemical peptide emotion. Now, how do you get it to calm down? Well, there are healing tools, and on my website, medicinewomansolution.weebly.com, has, under healing tools, has a bunch of free ones for you to play with. And I believe that the more you use them, the more you're educated with them, the more you're going to see more progression. But getting back to the fact that the energies. So I see that the governing meridian is down in Goddess. Now, again, I'm only looking at a mirror. I'm looking at your energy cords, the entanglement cords. And this meridian, this is down. Sometimes you can lead you to feel, in your case, to stay in habit. And I'm saying a little bit more. And this says, well, it's how, what happened to you at 1 and then again at 5. Set the tone of how your brain sets up the story for your life. And I'm saying, okay, so here we are today. These things happen. Indecisive seems to be the where the emotional, the thinking, and it had been caused by indifference that one took on as a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old. But how does a 1-year-old do it when they don't have the logical ability as an adult? Well, that's where you have mirror consciousness. You literally begin to copy people in your environment. And you learn those different little things. But if you are hearing this and you're like, Goddess says, yeah, that's true. I'm trying to break out of habits and cycles. See, and this is the beauty of the energy medicine of what I do and what I'm teaching others to do is to become aware. Doesn't mean about beating yourself up or any of that. That's egos. Being in that authentic self. And how I would address this is notice that what does indifference feel like? Where do you apply it? Do you notice that it just becomes natural? And when you begin to use emotions as a way to cope, handle, and deal with life, it actually can cause arrested development, meaning you are stunted and you can't think beyond that point, or you can't resolve beyond that point, or you can't seem to get beyond that point. Now, if I ask Spirit, is the indifference a tool to, like a safety blanket? No, it was just a coping tool. Okay, wasn't even about pacifying. Pacifying is a little bit deeper, but it's still a way we have to stop the thoughts and the feelings. And your body responds to energies from people. Okay. Well, the more people that are woke up to be an empaths, we read different frequencies differently. And if you're more kinesthetic than audio, then you're going to read a difference of energies. And in this case, it is energies that are coming off of people. And I'm asking if it's places and things. No. It's the environment itself, like in a house that's actually become a home where you humanized it, gave it love, and also you give it negative stuff. The energy was loud. Like, you can be in a nice, peaceful space, but if somebody comes in and they're angry and they leave that energy behind, an empath, and they're gone, and an empath walks in the room, they're like, something's not right. Okay, they can feel the ions and everything inside the room. And if you're not careful, okay, she says, yes, I believe an empath. This is where I would then say, if you're not careful and this energy goes down, which is what I see is this governing meridian go down, and that this one is not as down as much, but this means vulnerability. This one means paranoia. This is to the extent. Now, there's different degrees of how you feel. You're on guard. So your first 3 chakras that hold the data about survival, constantly checking, am I safety, security, stability? And if you don't have those, then, and you're going to, oh my God, you're going to say alert. It's like taking the president and putting them in a bunker so they don't get hurt. Well, you're taking your heart and you're going, no, heart, you cannot engage in this in a loving manner, because if you're open and vulnerable, it could hurt. Okay? So if a child walks in the room and you learn how to be indifference to somebody that's angry, your chakras like, oh yeah, here, this is how we do it. Okay, you have to be indifferent. You can't really open that part up. Even if you're sitting there going, but I'm open. There are programs that are stuck in place. I would tell you to first start off is you got to kick the energies of people out of your space. People's energies are there. You have your aura, but we sometimes have energy leaks, holes, tears, okay? And it lets it in. How do they get there? Because of our experiences that we've had in the past. And then it just is like, this is what we know. These are the things that your soul is asking you. Can you resolve it now? Because you couldn't do it then. Okay? See, she says, yes. It's like, I know when people are gossiping when I'm not in the room. Yes. And if that governing meridian's down, you're going to become more paranoid, and your ego is going to try to take you and say that this and this and this and this, even if it's not true, or it is true, but now there's a misunderstanding. Can you see how there's so many different scenarios that can come out of this? So even if they are, it's none of her business. Why? Because she does not need to change her life because of them. That's their little world. She can stand there and be proud of being the goddess that she is without having to be logically ego and I have to be. No, you can beam. You don't have to have your light dulled. And when you are in that space and you feel them, even if they're not gossiping about you, you'll be able to feel it. Those energies literally make you weak physically. If I was in front of you, I could muscle test you. I could show you this. Even t-shirts that have negative things on it can actually weaken your body. Okay? People, though, and situations and stories and big events on TV, 9/11 bothered me. I had to learn quickly how to scramble back without feeling I need to go insane and kill myself. It was so bad to feel crying, anger, venom, resentment. I was like, oh my God. And it was just too many emotions that kept hitting me at once. And it was like, bam, bam, everywhere I walked. Oh, I was this walking big bag of emotional shit. And then I'm like, there's a shit storm going on and I don't know what's going on. And Spirit says, just hold on. And I remember running to the bathroom, holding on to the stall things. And I'm like, I can't. It was too much information emotionally that was coming in. Spirit says, and all I could remember was that I was pushing it out. And I did a movement. It wasn't until years later that the biggest thing for me was learning from Donna Eden about figure eights. So that's where the Celtic weave really kicks people out of your energy field, and use it with intention, using it with breath. And you're like, yes, feeling and owning that power. Figure eights is I would say, the code to help repair you and kick people out. Connecting heaven and earth. You allow yourself to learn how to basically, do the steps, and you're pushing. Without knowing it, you are doing a different figure eight, as above, so below, and you're changing the frequency. Once you're done with those, then you put your finger in your belly button and finger in your forehead, you push in and lift up, and you breathe and get that spine, the kundalini, everything to work good. And you just keep breathing and allowing yourself to hook, and you literally will become a magnet, and you will feel how the hands will be like maybe off, and then all of a sudden it goes in sync. What you're doing is you're connecting the governing and the central meridian. Literally, you are helping to connect it, to keep those energies out. You're strengthening your energies in your aura, in your body, so that your mind don't go, and your emotions don't go, So, Amy,
I see that. I will take care of that in just a second.
So it's important to begin to understand that when energies come out of the way and you're calling in trolls, what happens if you energetically call in trolls and you don't even know it? Okay? When somebody wants to hijack your space, your energy, somebody wants to take over the idea that you're their target, and they think it's funny, and they think that they can crack a code because it is a challenge. Do you need to respond that way? Do you need to respond in such a way that would give them the power? If they weren't even realizing that they existed, what would happen? What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Okay. Well, if you take a personal and you lose power, then it feeds. Whatever the reason that the person feels that they're getting their jollies off, and that is important for them to do what they need to do. What happens when it's in the family? What happens when it's in, public? That squeaky wheel will be so loud, it can damage you. I remember watching this TV show. It's called Starting Over, and these people really wanted to start over. But the tools they were using was good, but at the same time, what kind of people's emotions, what kind of attitudes and personas get to come into play? This woman was racing around. I mean, there's only 2 bathrooms and there was 10 people in the house, and they had to all go because part of their thing. This one person just kept hogging the bathroom. And so the person goes, okay, so you could literally see them problem solving. So they raced to the kitchen and figured, okay, you know what? I'm okay. I smell all right. I'm just going to wash my hair. So they quickly washed the hair in the sink. They cleaned it out afterwards. They left. Somebody came and saw them washing the hair. It was against their rules and how disgusting it was. And so she had to go and tell everybody that that's wrong. That's so bad. You know how dirty and disgusting it is. And was just pushing. And when they did that, what do you think it did to the person that was trying to problem solve and get going? In their household, it was probably no big deal. And in her house, it was a very big deal. So it ended up the squeaky wheel got everybody against the other one. So now you have to lay down rules. But who dictates the rules? Why do you think half of us are quiet? Because the other half may decide that they just are going to take offense to it. And sometimes people just want it because they want attention. Which led me to see how some people are fake. They talk spiritual, they pretend like they walk spiritual, but they don't really know how to change their programs. A person, for instance, will turn around and be so sweet. And when you begin to see their pattern, they're constantly giving to you. They may be, giving you expensive things, or they give you advice, or they do this. And when you don't follow it, they get all pissy at you. And when you try to self-justify or justify to them that, it's about God's timing. It's about working and cooperating with everything else. And then they're like, oh, and then they get mad and start talking and gossiping about you. What is that even about? Well, it is a program that usually is running. Not everybody's the same. Everybody has an individual path of what's going on. But what happens is that they are disgusted and they can't think about it. It's like, what the hell? Why do they treat me that way? I was just being nice to them. But if their pattern is to always bitch about the other person and always looking to see that somebody's failed them, that is what needs to be addressed. But if you didn't look at energy medicine and you only looked at the surface level through the ego, that's another story. And the person that has to hear it may feel bad because it's like, well, you're hating on somebody. You're being, I don't see that person that way. And they're trying to convince you, this is a person. This is why sometimes I really don't know if I care to listen to Yelp and other places. Because when people want to come out and just want to hurt because that's their challenge, or people want to hurt because that's just their pain, it can hurt other people. Like you've seen exes and movies that about revenge destroys their world, and that gives them the power to do so. And there's something to do with being, it's about the victim archetype. It's learning how to go within and seeing these little programs and healing some of this shit out and changing the frequency that you have in your space so that you can stop attracting those in. But then there's what you call the law. Okay, what is, Steve, if you're still here, I had the thought, it's like when you flip a coin, you have the law of averages. I think that's what it is. Well, how are you supposed to compete with that? So how are you supposed to compete with that? Well, it's simple. The more that you take it personal, the more that you have a knee-jerk reaction, the more that you have a twang, the more you're like, understand that you've lost power a long time ago. It's an old program. And if you are responding in a negative way, then it is now a habit for you of how you to control the situation, how you're supposed to be responsible in that situation. But spiritual growth is about deciding, do I really want to be that, think that, and do I have to be that paradigm that in the next stereotype of what it's supposed to be? No, you don't. You're learning how to change the way you attract things in. So yes, we do have the law of attraction, but we also have the law of averages. And you have to, this is why, in a way, when people are told, oh, you're a psychic, well, you need to get 100% or you can't call yourself one. But you've got to understand there's laws that are written somewhere. Okay, we're not going to get into that. I just wanted you to become aware of the frequencies of people and what it can do to your aura, what it can do to your, the way you feel. So goddess, hang in there. You begin to use tools, energy tools, as an energy medicine and train your body to stop taking it in. Your body will go, oh God, I can finally get ahead of it. That's so important to understand. I had pain and it just wouldn't stop and it wouldn't stop. 4 hours of just agonizing, mind-blowing, knock me unconscious pain. I'd get and when the doctor finally was able to see me, maybe it was 6 hours, but don't matter. It took 3 rounds. I says, why so much drugs? Because we have to get ahead of it. Well, that's what happens to a lot of you. You have to get ahead of it. And if you can start training your body, and again, if it's different, if you have a program inside that just becomes active versus absorbing instead of observing your surroundings. And if you are observing, but you can't help absorb, then you need energy medicine tools to help you resolve, to evolve out of it, to literally train your innate to say, no, we have a tool. We don't have to go to the old go-to of having to feel like the victim, blah, blah, blah. We can have a tool. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Okay. It's so important to wake up to your behaviors. The problem is it's the fine line. Because when you learn that you live in a world of mirrors, and you're excited that you learned something, you go to share it, and if somebody took offense, then they're going to be using their program. You're like, ooh, and you're respecting that their program's kicking off. But you also have to learn how to put a healthy boundary up so that you can teach them not to treat you this way without losing that love or friendship or whatever it is. Starts with you. It starts with you. Now, Amy, may we talk about what happened this morning? Yes or no? It's up to you. I don't care. Okay. So I'm going to bring Amy on so you can see her. Now, Miss Amy, you have been what's called learning who is the real Amy minus the antidepressant drugs, yes?
Yes.
So far, I mean, when you were on it for many years and you thought, hey, life's pretty good. I think I can get off this. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. What happened when you were finally weaned off of it?
Well, it's actually hadn't been that hard until last night. Shit hit the fan.
Now, I'm just going to stop her right there. She's forgetting the fact that every time she says, oh my God, what's this? New shit. I don't know, huh? And I'd say, oh, well, that's your depression. Heal it out. So she never really had to full blown take it to the hill because she became aware that, wait, this doesn't seem like me, but yet it is. It's the root. It's the active. So she's healed it. So last night, now I'm asleep. She's pulled into herself and she was sleeping, but she says, I've just been, and I said, oh, Spirit says she had to feel because she's healing in layers. So what does this look like? Happy Amy, what happens to Happy Amy?
Oh, I mean, it was ugly cry.
It just came out of nowhere? What triggered it?
Out of a paper bag.
Even a paper bag. Ooh, panic.
Yeah.
Okay. And you seem to be okay now. Yes?
Yeah.
All right, but what did you do?
Well, before I contacted you, I used all of the tools that I could think of, and nothing seemed to help. And then it's like, Brenda.
Well, at least she did her best to trust that she's going to use a tool. Now, which one of those did I use that started to help? Was it the rubbing of the acupuncture points, or was it holding the pulse points in hope therapy?
Hope therapy.
Okay. All right. Now, interestingly enough, Spirit will speak to you all the time. Energetically, Spirit had already told me I needed to address something inside of me. And I'm like, I do? Now, consciously, it's not there, but my physical body, knows me better than knows itself. Why? Because at the time of the incident, oh my God, even through the genetic line, epigenetics, through your soul line, past lives, your mind has rehearsed it so good that it fired and wired together and stored it inside that part of that brain where all the information is held. And so it's going to repeat and repeat and repeat because this is part of the program. So, again, it knows you so much better because you rehearsed it so well. I'm trying to figure out something because all of a sudden I was like, what is this strange feeling? Now, I'm not feeling it here. I was feeling something neutral, but yet I could feel something wasn't me. I'm like, what's going on? And yet the symptoms were inflammation in my body. Why is my body attacking me? And I said, what does that feeling have anything to do with this? The inflammation. And my body, all of the clues from the day when you learn to talk synchronistically and you learn to communicate with your authentic self, was that I went back to epigenetics in a generational pattern that had to do with panic that's stored in the genes. I'm like, what? How the hell do you get that shit out? Spirit says, well, I'm glad you asked. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be open to relearning. And slowly it ends up being hope therapy, but you can't think of it like you do. You have to think about how numb you became to something that you were so good at. That's what time healing is that over time you just kind of forget it. But your body hasn't. And then you watched it within your family. So it's just a habit. This is mirror consciousness. This is what you're supposed to do. And then it's looking at the picture so deeply. Now, I was preparing to help heal myself. And if I can do it, then anybody can do it. So then Amy pops on and I says, now I understand why I had to learn about the gene that had to do with panic stuck inside my DNA process. Now, what does this have to do with you? Well, you've been working on many layers of depression, looking at it from certain angles and, oh my gosh, I'm sad today, but this came like out of nowhere and decided it's going to kick your ass. Is that true? How did it creep in? How did it creep in? What were you doing? What were you watching? What was happening? Is it because you couldn't talk to me at all yesterday?
I think part of it was that, yeah.
Okay. Now you got to remember, before you do any judging, I want you to be in discernment. This is a non-judgmental space. And we're doing it in space with all of you. So pay attention. She was not wanted as she was in the womb. She was told inside her womb that her mom wanted her, but everybody else didn't want, you have to put that child up for adoption. So then she gets his experiments, then she shifted to another family. Yes, it wanted her. Yay. Good family. But she felt like a replacement then because the family had already lost a little girl, ended up getting a little girl. She was aware of this. Nobody is in her life. Her mom and her dad are gone. Her siblings and everything are either they're dead or they're not a part of her life because they're busy living their life. There's nothing wrong with that. But really, her friends are, when she was a little girl, her friends were probably in the 40s. Now that she's 40s, they're in their 80s, and they're dropping like flies. And you're like, well, what the hell? And if you have never had anybody around you that's dropped like a fly, like I got, I couldn't understand why I got this and why I reacted the way I did. But I graduated in 1985. I get on my phone, class of 1985, one of your classmates has passed. I'm like, what? There's a different kind of realization. And you're like, really? No. So there's a rejection of the reality. The similarity is that we're the same age. We, really. Now, Amy and I have learned to realize that our past lives have crossed many times. And, she lives in Minnesota. I live in South Australia. We've had this connection. That to me feels good. And, we understand each other. And what's interesting is that I couldn't, I didn't do a show yesterday, but I have to work. So I have to do time management. So I have to allow so many hours to work. But then I also have to allow so much time for me to have my self-care and downtime, because I don't want to burn out from doing this, because then if I burn out, I'll hate what I do. That's not what I came here to do. I came here to create a movement. My soul has woke up and says, this is a new earth. And it's funny because Amy got a new deck of cards called Starseed. And she gave me a reading that talked about how it's about the new earth and helping to bring the planet into a new earth. And Eckhart Tolle was, he started writing about the new earth many years ago. So everybody has a part to play. Yes, we talked. It's not that I didn't ignore her. She just said, it was just quick. Mm-hmm. Now she's learning to grow out of the little inner child programs, patterns. Yes. So I will do an energy read on her. She's a mess. She's a mess. Really? She's much better. Energetically, she's much better. But when these old patterns kick in and they become very active, it throws your energy off. And the first thing how you know is that your energy usually will start to run backwards. Not all of them, a few. And your meridians have everything to do with how you think and you feel. Your chakras have everything to do with how your meridians are going to act. And your life ultimately will show you what you're doing. So recently I called in somebody through as a demonstration for me for YouTube. And it's like, yeah, they're saying nasty things. But do I need to fall for it? It fit perfectly on what I wanted to say. So Spirit says, oh, use that because I'm trying to tell you. All right. Again, it's about how you look at things. Because I was trying to figure out, what was that definition my husband said about a house being a home? What did he teach me? And then so I was trying to put in the words. And as I had talked to him, out pops Google and says, oh, a house is da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, I laughed because I felt my mother had touched me on the shoulder and said, oh, here's my words. We're going to use your phone. And I'm like, it was just, you just want to reject reality, but at the same time, you're like, that's funny. Oh, so anyway, getting back to her. Many, many things happen all at once. Her energies. So let's look at her energies. She called in me not to be there. And let me ask you a question. Were you able to connect with many people yesterday or not?
Yeah.
Okay, but it was me in general that you couldn't connect with.
Right.
Okay, so what I'm doing is trying to establish, because she is a little girl that in order to feel connected, to feel that she's not going to slip into abyss or fall off a cliff, is to connect with people. Now, we haven't quite healed that depth of, do you know what I'm talking about, Amy? Because all of a sudden you kind of knew where I was going with this without realizing. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this attention, and this is all based on what happened to her, how her contract signed out. This is what you're going to do, Amy. And she hasn't quite gotten over feeling worthless. Now, she knows she's not worthless. She's heard me tell her how important she is. She knows that people love her. That's not the thing. It is addressing that inner child. And the inner child that created this ugly cry was her 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And the ugly cry was all about that I have to obsess. Her brain at 2 years old, something happened. And I'm going to ask, did you get disproved? No. Did you get rejected? No. Was she abandoned? No. What happened for this 2-year-old to obsess? It was the dread. So did you dread the idea that you couldn't see me or talk to me yesterday?
Probably.
And you know what dread feels like, yes?
Yes.
Interestingly enough, as I check her or her energies, how many are running backwards? She's got 5 meridians running in the wrong direction. And it's the spleen. That means I failed. The lung, which means that I have to, what does it say? Overcompensate. So I got to correct myself. I got to overcompensate. I got to make it right. Gallbladder is the fear of being. And then the bladder, that her will is frozen, and I don't know how to, except for I have to be a martyr and, take less, because I know she's got to do it. So this is a logic of her 2-year-old. 2-year-olds don't think logical. Okay. How many did I just give you? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the 5th one? Ooh, it has to do with the pictures that you have in your brain. That has to do with the governing meridian, which is loftiness. Loftiness is that energy that seems to, you believe, and energy-wise, that it has power over you, and that it gets to dictate, and you have no control over it. See, and for her, I see the part of her being in the abyss, like she's trying very hard not to fall deeper into it. She's hanging on to something. Now, they're showing me a vine. A vine represents spirit to me. She's hanging on to it, and she's wrapping her ankles around the vine is just to hold on to her spirit, because she doesn't want to lose heart. She doesn't want to be disconnected from this. So when I ask her, so what are you willing to heal? What's the inner child willing to heal? And Amy needs to really dive deep, which means that she would actually need to hold L2D and go to that little girl and ask her, about feeling dread. Do you dread being alone and losing connection with people? Amy, on a scale from 0 to 10, she's saying, we got to hear you, though, because other people don't see you. Yes. And on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being, oh my God, the worst. And what would you say it is?
Oh, I'd say it's a good 8.
An 8. Yes, it would have been definitely higher than a 10 earlier. So I don't know if you're going to be able to do it with the kitty in your arms, but good luck.
I'm holding it.
Yeah, but you got to hold your forehead too.
Yeah, we can do it with kitty.
Well, good. That's good to know. You can comfort a bear or stuffed animal. Live object might start squirming, but understand you can do the healing that way. So she's going to hold that. And she didn't really say too much, but she feels a mess. Do you feel like your head's going to explode? Do you feel like you cried a drop of the hat? You have to say it so people can hear.
Yep.
Okay. Do you feel like sometimes your head's just not balanced?
Oh, yeah.
And that you're like, I could drink 10 cups of coffee and still not feel balanced? I could drink water and still not feel balanced? Okay. She's saying yes for all of those. So we're just going to let her heal. Now, I'm going to put you in the back little corner. And so I can start addressing, let's address appropriately. There you go. Now, I'm going to look. Now, the 1 minute reads, I did, first of all, was there anybody, before you get too deep, was there anybody that did any emails? If not, I'm going to start picking.
I will check real quick.
And if you've paid, let me know. But again, for this type of healing, it is $23 for 6 minutes.
Patty, Lori M.
All right, we'll take those two first. So Patty. Now, Patty, when it comes to your energy field, she's a new.
Will my husband be eligible for his double lung transplant?
All right, now that's just a reading. And let me look at, because this was energy work. So let me look. So Patty said, is that what Patty said? Our Patricia?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you want me to do this today, Spirit? Okay, so will he what? What was the question?
Will my husband be eligible for a double lung transplant?
Okay. Now, this will depend. And the reason I've got to say this is because it has to depend on what your soul contract wants. Sometimes your soul will not, their soul will not tell me, because it is about, I have to ask permission on a different direction. With asking a different, because you just don't invade people's space. And the importance of this also is to understand that if they haven't made the decision, then it's not going to show up in the variables. There's different choices. These are things that I can see that you have decided or not decided. These are possibilities. And as I look, let's see, will he be eligible? Not that he can't have, it's also in the wording. Is he eligible? Well, first of all, the thing that runs through my head is a simple thing that I see them talking it over. And right now I feel that they're getting more information. Now they, meaning who gets to make that decision. So they're in that contemplating state. Now I'll say, is he eligible? Meaning not what the doctors think, but is he eligible? And they said, yeah, if you're assertive. Now make sure that you have all channels and you crossed all the T's and dotted the I's. And now I'm going to ask, is his body eligible to receive? Meaning, is his body ready to receive something else? And it says that, yes, it says helpful people. And that means that the energy is being helpful so that it can. So that must mean that there are people that are helping to mentally, emotionally prep him. So again, will he? There's definitely an opportunity, a big one, meaning that it is everything's starting to point to a big fat yes. That's the closest I can give you without invading the space of the soul. I'm not going to create karma. So just to let you know. All right. And who is the next email?
Lori M.
Lori M. Lori M. Are you she's, huh?
Partner. Will me and partners still continue to work out together? What do we need to work on? Thank you.
All right. Does that sound like a relationship as in mates or business or home or what?
Mate, I believe.
All right. So will they continue to work out their differences, meaning they already have problems?
That I don't know.
All right. Read it again. Oh, here's Lori, but read it again.
Will me and partners still continue to work out together? Physically, what do we need more work on?
Okay. See, now this is again, they're talking to me and they're like, work out, because they have all these different, because you can work out. I exercise with my husband sometimes. We work out. But will we work out in a relationship wise? And that is, it's about how you choose to show up. It's about how they're choosing to show up. So they show the button of taking action. When I ask, to take action. So it's about how is it you both want to. Now you could want and he may not. He may want and you may not. You have to also ask yourself, are you listening to your ego and go, oh, I want it to work out, when your heart says, I really, to overall thinking in time, you're just sick of it. You can't tolerate something. Understand, you're going to cause yourself a situation. So the thing is that will you work it out? And they said, stay optimistic. Take the action that's required. Pay attention to your thoughts. They said that it's about true love. So you need to really allow yourself to define what true love is. I've had people come to me and we've had to work out that they thought true love equals abuse. That kind of threw me off, but it was about how you do associations in your life. Do you understand? So when you're looking at this, will these two make it? You definitely deserve love, and that is to become aware to receive. They're throwing in my mind something, and that is, how is it? The picture is showing, do you micromanage? Does he micromanage? Do you give direction? Do you say, this is how you do it? There's something to do. Is he a type of person, or even if it's not a he or she, whatever, is this person used to being mothered? Are you supposed to show up as that role and you don't want to? There's so many different patterns, but it's about you evolving for one. Anybody else? I want to do some energy work.
You want to do energy work.
But anyway, so go ahead.
I don't have any more emails, but I see Anya and Ashley Vasquez.
Okay. We also have a Mary Ann. She says, I sent an email.
Yeah. I'd like a reading to see if the letter I need will be ready tomorrow, please.
Again, you're talking about variables.
Yep.
Okay, so they said a drop of the hat. To help you understand, this is an energy work. This is just looking at the energy itself. So it's a drop of the hat. They're saying an 11th hour. So it sounds like it's going to become close. You're going to do a lot of worrying because that's part of your pattern. A lot of obsessing. That's energetically, I just feel like this is what people do. It helps you process time. So until you get that. And there is a fair amount of, it's your strategy. It's a fair amount of stuff you have to do until you get your outcome. But the outcome that I'm seeing has to do with the fact it's going to be at the drop of the hat. It's going to be the 11th hour, which means, yes, a miracle is going to happen. I could feel that, you should get that letter. And it's about the way you engage with receiving it. So what does that mean? It means that if you're manifesting and you understand the laws of attraction, if you really are used to getting a no, then that no energy is what's leading the universe to say, it's like when you take and you say to the universe, yes, I need that letter. Thank you. I receive it. There's a difference between wholeheartedly believing it and then lying to yourself. But the energy is that I'm used to, and you look at the patterns that says that I'm used to getting a no and then a yes. Okay. But if you're used to getting a no and you don't want to set yourself up to fail, so why get your hopes up? Then that energy is what needs to be addressed and healed. It needs to go. So Amber says, we'll just, energetically, I'm assuming you're not wanting a healing. You're wanting a question. Go ahead, Amber. Do you want me to just do a 1-minute read, or how do you want to do it? So, even if you send it, then I still will do the read, especially since you said it that way. But I'll give you the opportunity, and if you can stick around for your read. See, this is why I like to move quickly, but it is important to see how important that is. See, this is, there's different shows, different days that I do things on. So when it comes to Amber, see, I'm in the energy mode. The energy is that right now, Amber, one of the things that's happening is that you're in your incompatible mode. When that energy of being incompatible, you're going to have people show up to you as being incompatible. Okay. It's like you have to see it. There's something about you needing to see people be incompatible. But I think she left already. I don't know what e-transfers are in Australia. The only way that I've learned that we can take money, especially being able to do something live, is through PayPal. Now, when it comes to e-check, I can't do it live. You have to wait until that money clears. And I haven't found any other tool that would do what PayPal does for me while I do a live show. It's always the same person. Well, if you're seeing the same story, that means that how you did anything is how you do everything, which means you're repeating a pattern. And if there's a particular pattern that's playing out, nothing's going to change. You're used to the instability of this. And the question is that, why are you doing it? And that is because there's a panic within you. And if I look and I say, what? And it'll say that your 6-year-old, almost 7-year-old has learned that you have to have people invade your energy in order for you to have a relationship. And I say, well, is there anything particular of energy they have to invade? And they have to make sure that your energy is going up and down, up and down. Okay. So that's the relationship. That's what I would say heal, because it's messing with your meridians. One of the reasons it is happening is because it's your 4th chakra, which is your heart. Your heart at that time of age 7 said that it had somebody very lofty energy that invaded your space. And what caused that to occur was that you had to put a block up. And then it's the way you had to take action. Now you're trying to move on from that, but you haven't healed the root. And so what happens is now you're stuck repeating. It's like Groundhog Day. Definitely need to heal that. Okay. She says, wow, that makes perfect sense. Okay. Yeah. And the thing is, you can break it. It's just that you're in arrested development. You can't break it. You've tried everything. You can't break it. You actually have to do a healing. This is where I'd say you need to sit there and have a one-on-one private consultation with me so that we can sit there and say, here's the energy. Let your innate body start doing the healing. Let your soul begin to do the healing. And that would help you. Is there any more emails before I move on?
No.
Okay.
List.
Okay. As far as there's a Ashley Vasquez that I see.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, there was one question. Can you tell me how does my mom feel about me? Well, there are several different reasons, because it is the kaleidoscope that you're looking through. If you're looking through ego and I told you what she was feeling, you're like, well, that's just wrong, because you're not meant to really hear what they're feeling and thinking, because your filter of how you see them is going to filter what's going to be said. So like me and my sister will turn around. Thank you, Betty. We'll turn around and we can be looking at mom the same way, but we will have totally different memories, and we will say, no, that's not, so but what I can say is that how your mom is showing up to you in some regards is that for you is that you hear the word blame. When I'm looking a little bit further, there's a part of you that feels and remembers scorn. Okay, now all of a sudden she says, I think my mom hates me because I'm stubborn. Yes. Now let me explain that. Stubborn. Now, if she's in a paradigm of that's how the life's supposed to work, then she's going to look at stubborn as you're not doing what I ask. And stubborn, I did not raise my child to get rid of her spirit, squash her spirit. I needed her to stand up to a certain paradigms. And I didn't want her to fall victim to the next logical step that she had to take care of somebody unless she wanted to, not forced to. And when when you don't want to be controlled, there's a part of you that realizes that you have to learn how to say no. But those people that want to control you do look at you in a certain way and think, why don't you just do what I ask? Now, when it comes to mother and children versus mother and teenagers and mothers and adults, you want the best for your children, but how do you get that across? Not all mothers. You're talking about certain sectors of the kaleidoscope of life. And that is very simple, is that you want your child to do something so they don't get hurt. Or I've seen mothers that want you to do something because they just don't want to do it. Or they think that that's the rule. You're supposed to step up and take care of me. It all depends on the culture, the background, the religion. It's all based on emotions and patterns and beliefs and values. You being 21, you may have to turn around and notice who, if you're always fighting to hold your power and somebody else seems to have the power over you, you have to heal that. If you feel like you can't tolerate when somebody hates you and you can feel yourself contract energy, and then you learn to obey because you don't want to be, that's part of your soul's growth. Oh, that's a good point. She says, my family still thinks that I'm kid. Okay, you know what? You're not alone. So I have this friend, she's in her 40s, goes back home, and everybody, it was a big reunion, and not even just that, there was friends too. And so she went back, and the next thing you know, they had her stuck in time. And so they did not see any of her growth. They didn't want to see any of her growth. And some of those people were like, well, don't change. We like who you are. Or I should say were. And then some people just have their opinion about you, and that's all there's going to be to it. And I said, well, you've grown out of that. They stayed here with your particular memory, and you begin to grow. Don't go back. Don't feel like you have to go back. Still grow. And that might mean you may need to lose your family and friends, because you have to begin to be true to you. It doesn't mean that you have to cut people off because you're hurt. Heal the pain, and it'll change the way your frequency is with your family. So it's learning how to grow. It's learning how to mature. It's learning how to hold your power. Not that you have to hold your power and fight back. No. You heal the shit out and the energy comes back to you. And there's something about, like, I know that I looked and it's just shocking. My sister, I still have her as that 16-year-old. But at the same time, I'm looking at how she is, what am I, 52? She's like almost 50 now. But what am I seeing? I'm seeing the same attitude. I'm seeing the same person that hasn't changed. And when it's so maybe she hasn't come to the realization, because all they can see is the same. Oh, there's the same behavior. There's the same attitude. Oh, there's the same, and there's a part of you that has to grow out of those norms that other people have set for you. A norm is a moving target. Okay? So it's about your growth. Very important to get your growth. Love them, but learn. Yeah, I know. I'm going to be there. Love them, but learn that you need to become more you. And this is why you got movies and things that all show you how they break away from those particular things. Find what's important to you. Find your purpose, which is important to you. Find your value, which is important to you. Do you see the key word is what's important to you? If you find out it's more important to you to have love, and so you're willing to just show up the way they want, that's up to you. But if you feel what's important to you is to grow, and yet you want the other, you're in conflict. You need to heal this. It's all about healing. So we have a wonderful person that wants to play with us. We like that. And what do I mean by play? It means that somebody's willing to come on, I'm assuming, into the room. Now I'm going to find, so the room number is right there, 121-893-288. You have to have Zoom to download in order to be able to get into the room with us. Okay?
I'm kidding. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll wait for her to show up, and then you'll be able to see somebody in action. We have people now, that are in these rooms. Understand if we don't get to you right away because we're in the middle of something else, you can always email us here, and when your email comes up, we will, even if you're not here, I would prefer you here, but do understand we will give you a read. If you didn't get a read and you couldn't find it in the show, then just email me again, because maybe your email got lost, and I'm willing to honor that. But don't email me after. There's a whole thing. I have to honor spirit, not. Here we go, people. Hello! Yay!
Hello, ladies.
Yay! The voice is working. Awesome. Okay, now I'm going to set the timer. Now, sometimes we're just going to go over, just because it depends on how spirit feels. What can
Well, I
I
was not feeling like coming on. I wasn't really into it tonight. But then next thing I know, I'm logging into PayPal. I'm like, no, I need to do this.
Oh, when Spirit has motivation, they push it, don't they? I mean, I'll say shit and I'm like, hey, oh, Spirit, you darn little thing. You just, stuff comes out. So it's nice to know that, see, this is the good influence because you're being guided to grow and to heal and to be. So, yeah, I definitely see your father directly behind you now. He noticed that you know that he is not the same kind of man he was on the earth. And he's like, oh my God, he says he didn't expect that, but he's excited because now you guys can have a different relationship. So
Yes.
what do you want to heal? Or do you want me to just do an energy work?
I feel like whatever's popping up for you because
Okay.
I'm kind of going blank.
Yes. So what happens is that we're going to look at habits. Okay. When I'm looking, like right now, you said you weren't feeling coming on, and they're saying actually it's how you have that relationship to yourself. And then I'm looking through this, and they said yes, your polarity is off. And I said, do you need more water? No. You need more time alone. How interesting. Now, is that true?
Maybe. I think I need some more time out in nature alone, not necessarily sitting in my bedroom alone.
Exactly. It is about getting out there. Yes. Now, I'm asking Spirit, talk to me. And they said, well, the energies, cross. No. Okay. They're saying the word split. So I'm assuming bipolar. Have you had a lot of that lately, or has that been backing off?
I don't feel like I have. I have not been on meds for about 4 years for that. It had been messing up my liver. I had to go through a bone marrow biopsy. It came back fine. And then a couple years later, I had my gallbladder taken out. But I haven't been on meds for quite a while, but it's been several months since I've noticed any ups or downs.
Yeah, I will have to confess. She is my cousin, but we haven't really talked since, well, we've never really talked until we just about this year. Now, here's the strange part. As soon as she started talking about the gallbladder, instantly I'm going, yep, that's the epigenetic side. I know exactly this one because I've gone through it. Now, I have not had bipolar, but I had, if I haven't done any of the healing, I could have totally started to do that because after I had my children, that's what occurred. Okay. I mean, literally, I felt like two people threw me completely off. Now, they're saying that this is when overwhelm seems to be the target for, it's like all of a sudden, it's like, here comes overwhelm. Oh, look, there's Betty. And she's like, whoa. And it's not that you wanted to be overwhelmed. I because you're like me, we can be precise. We can do this. We can get it done, organization. But there are times when all of a sudden, it's like it comes to you as a shock. And bam. It does not even have to be a shock. And all of a sudden, there's this overwhelm because I'm great in emergencies.
I used to say I thrived in chaos because I didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
Wow. Okay.
No, that's not thriving.
No, it fed you in a certain way. Now, Spirit says, like right now, your polarity is off because one of the things that you do toward yourself is have habits. Are they good habits? They're habits that actually causes you to put you in a certain docile state so you don't feel overwhelmed. And I say, okay, well, like what? Well, it has to do with your power. Well, what does she do with it? Now, what's interesting is my spleen just started to kick in. Ow. So you fight inside.
I second guess myself a lot.
Okay, yeah, that's fighting inside.
I feel like I need a leader to show me the way because I can't trust myself.
Okay, very good. Is that it? Yes, the pain's gone. So instead of going to yourself to find the leader within, you feel you have to go outside yourself. Okay, so now we're going back very specifically to age 7, and your dad's going, okay, so the people that you looked up to were never there for you, and he's not in his head. He says this is always the way it's been for you. We failed you miserably when it came to being parents. I'm sorry to say that to your mom and your dad, but your dad understands. But he says, but when he's looking, okay, he's like, he's looking. What are you talking about? He's showing me something? Never mind. He's here. He's definitely trying to show me something. She stored her pain. She stored the pain. Okay, thank you. See, the thing is that how she handled it. How did she handle it? Because she didn't have parents to look up to. Okay? She's forever looking to look up to her. Like, my father wasn't there. I'm looking for the male energy. Like, I didn't even know I was doing that. I'm looking for the male energy to give me some kind of guidance, some kind of love, some kind of, and I didn't have that energy. I had the feminine energy, but then that feminine energy wasn't there for me either because she had to go through so much great loss of death. And death can just pull you out of the game. So it doesn't really matter whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. The point is how does that soul react in that body? You never really, well, I take it back. About 2 years old is when it started to really go. At 7 years old, you were waking up to, I'm going longer still, just don't worry about that. You're like, where am I supposed to go? And what am I supposed to do? So 7 years old, you're waking up and you're beginning to observe, not just mirror consciousness and copying it, but you're like discovering more of your little self out in that world. It's a different stage, you know, and you're learning to, oh, look at the way they're doing it. And you're beginning to start finding answers to the things that bother you. Now, you can agree with them and say, oh, this is how they did it, which means run away, be angry, or you can look at, or you can self-sacrifice, you know, putting up. So you're doing your best to try to find some way to take it. Now, they said that part of that habit is to take that pain of not having. And I asked, is it a deprived? No, there's just not a connection to having a leadership. There's just literally, even if I asked back before when you had it, did you feel like you had a leadership? Yes, but it wasn't a good one. See, normally your programs in the past will say, oh yeah, since I already know it once, I can do it again. What are we doing here? Not being able to use voice or breathing. You learn to hold your breath to get through life. They said, literally, my mouth is dry out. So literally, you weren't drinking enough water. And as you're trying to get through life, you are actually feeling that being deprived. And therefore, you couldn't hear when your body was crying. You kind of learned to tune it out. Well, that makes sense. I mean, you're growing up, you need leadership. And if you're crying that they're not there, then how do you get over that pain of them not being there? You take it inside and then you take and create a different story. Then what's interesting is the gallbladder. Now for mine, and they're saying the same word, so I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm trusting them. I had a gallbladder attack that just was, unbelievable. So they did emergency to get that out. And when they did, they like expecting the gallbladder to look so disgusting. And here it was pink and pretty. And they're like, but we're going to take it out since we've already cut into her. And they removed it. And then they thought, oh, so they're going to do a biopsy and everything. And they found that it was dying from the inside out.
I had stones.
Stones is the difference.
They thought it was actually my ovary because that's kind of where the pain was. And I didn't realize I'd been having gallbladder attacks for a couple of years. I didn't realize that's what it was. I just thought it was something with my ovaries.
Awesome. Wow. See, that's something important. See, I was trying to figure out if I could access something here to help you understand. Your body is constantly talking to you. And it always has messages, and it's how can you read these messages? And the messages for your body, in this case, I'm going to see if I can find it as fast as I can.
I was actually diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome at the same time they found the issue with the gallbladder.
Ooh. Now, with chronic fatigue, that's just
like my joints, like my hips and stuff like that will start hurting, exhaustion, that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, fluids and stuff like this have not been working. And I'm waiting for this to open up, but it's not. Okay, so I have to wait a second here. Gallbladder problems, this is apparently where this is where they want to go, implies opposites. It can be relational. That's okay. This is gonna be hard because it's relation and relational. It's ALLY on the word relation. I can't even pronounce it, but it's like relation shutdown. Okay, so it's actually you don't trust love. They have had a history of deeply disappointing relationships. Okay, so this is what your gallbladder says. I want to go home. Wait, weren't you the one with the ruby slippers?
Yes.
So they have a beset experience of life, and they are greatly agitated about the ways of the world. Okay, let's go a bit further. Gallstones is bitterness. So this is anger and disappointment. The stony incrustations are due to stony thinking. They are rigidly unyielding in their orientation. So are you unyielding?
I've had a lot of bitterness.
Okay, now we understand where exactly, but it's not
actually a lot of it surrounding my dad's death.
Really? Is that why he's so present? You want me to? What happened at 7 years old? Do you know?
I don't.
He says you did something toward yourself. You took the blame or something like this. You did something towards yourself. Who had the here we go. Who had the eradicated behavior? And this, your automatic response when somebody goes erratic, it makes you go.
My mom and dad fought a lot when I was little.
Okay.
And I was told stories about how I would sit on the stairs and say, "Oh, they're bitching again." So I don't know if it's that.
Well, the eradicated behavior is so out of that developed habits. There we go, which has to do with there's a certain amount of alarm. It's going to happen. Okay. So they said you got to set up. And then there's a certain part of you that has a phobia that you don't want. I don't want to go through that again because it's very much, if you understand phobias versus fears, is that literally your whole body is engaged in the most, I don't want to endure this ever again. Okay.
I have panic attacks, so I get that.
Yeah. That's your body saying, oh, here it is. And so then what did you do to yourself? You made yourself irrelevant. Oh, wow. But at the same time, you've been fighting out of that hole because they're showing me that you've made yourself irrelevant. Like, okay, so when I watch people, and again, I know this one quite well because it is in the family history. When they begin to act that way, you just like, okay, I'm learned. I won't ask again. I'm going to get back. And you slowly, but what you're doing is not just slowly walking away, you're slowly shrinking your energy. So you contract that energy, which affects you physically. But it not only physically, it affects the way you communicate with the world. It does damage to you. You know, I mean, shit, we can look at our body parts and go, yeah, I can see I had that ripped out. I had this happen to me. Okay. But it's learning to not be contracted. Now I'm watching the other part of you before learning about spirit. And your ego goes, I'm going to do this. Now you have to control the environment to some degree and make sense. I have to, and what your saving grace is that I need to organize. I need to go above and beyond. And you're doing this so that you can see the pattern, but actually it's a controlled pattern so that you're like, you have a sense of accomplishment. You have a sense of, there's a sense of calmness is what I feel. It's how you can handle before you go over the edge.
Yeah.
Now, they said before, so have you always been organized and all that, or did that develop later?
I'm organized with lists, not so much. I'm kind of a hoarder, so not so much organized and knowing where everything is.
But when you do homework and things, you need that detail.
Yes.
Okay, so it's about learning something. You have to have this detail.
I have to write everything. I flashcards.
Yeah. Okay, so that we have that in common. You don't want to see what I've got over here on my shelves or anything either. Yeah. Now I'm not a hoarder per se, but when it comes to writing, yeah, it's notorious.
I want to make sure that I have all of the information I can possibly get.
Oh, and here's the other thing. If I don't have all of that, I have people come to me. Well, you better not do that or anything unless you get all the information. I'm like, oh, good Lord. That drove me crazy. At the same time, I see that I have to get all the information to some degree, but then I'm in this position of spirituality where I can see all the information. And it's like, to me, it's hilarious. I mean, talk about changing out of it. Now, again, it goes back to a particular habit. You're doing two things at once, and you're ready to shove yourself into a new level of spirituality. And they said the part of the habit is in the action. You have to become aware when your body starts to take an alarm, reassess everything in your space, and just see what is the trigger, what is the story, what is the feeling, because sometimes we don't know anything that's going on. It could be the time of day that triggers it. And they said this habit was at 7 years old, you needed it so that, and you did it toward yourself so you didn't have to deal with, oh, all right, so they just made a scene. All right, I'll just tell you the story. So anyways, Tony Robbins tells us this. He actually shows it. This man gets a stuttering. As a little kid, he learns to stutter. This is what happens. And so he's going to Tony Robbins to learn to stop stuttering. Tony Robbins actually can see how, energetically it goes back to when he was a little boy. And what happens is that a big chaos happened. I think you wanted to save somebody. Who did you want to save? Somehow at 7 years old, you saw something and you wanted it to stop, whether it was too violent of an anger fight, to something was going to go somewhere that you thought, oh my God, I don't want it to go there. But somehow you intervened. I
had a fight between my parents pop into my head. I'm not sure if that's what it was.
Okay, so part of you
was punched into a wall. And
ooh, okay, yeah. And the thing is that your body will begin to want it to stop. So it'll take on a different behavior. It can actually take on a sickness. It can take on something because you want it to stop. Now, being that said, it flashed in my head. My mother put something in my head just now and says to me, do you remember this? And again, it is in that family epigenetic line that we have to witness people being violent. Okay, now we have different fathers for sure, but it still was violent to some degree. And when they would male energy, when they would get angry, it's fist, and then when I witnessed between siblings and my father, and it was very shocking to me. Now you would jump in more in the ring. You would jump in there and I would be like, I want no part of it. My body goes straight into phobia. And
I always wanted to save my dad. I felt such sadness that he didn't have a mom growing up, that I always mothered him, which I think is a big reason why the last 10 years I took him to all of his appointments. My sister and I cut his hair. We would, wash his hair, all of that.
This is funny because my mother had a mother, but it's in the genetic line because I came in having to mother people because that's what I could do. All the rest of the roles were taken. And so I was good at mothering.
I think that too is a part of the reason why I have the addiction to working on other people's karmic debt.
Oh,
that just popped into my head.
Well, we can teach you how to do that.
The addictions I had was karmic debt, other people's.
Now, here's the thing. Okay, so that's probably why you're learning from me. So you don't have to do that. You can learn how to help people.
And found you in the first place is because I wanted more information on the Porta side. Because my dad didn't have a relationship with his dad. We always felt like the dirty little secret. And I knew you were related. So that's part of the reason. And then when you started doing the lives, I started watching, and then words you were saying was jumping at me like, wait a minute, I haven't heard anybody else say things like that. And I feel that that's truth. And then now it's like, all right, let's break these family cycles.
Yeah, I got major goosebumps. I mean, you talk about family reunion. I'm watching your family appear behind you. I've got my family, and I see this great big circle of hands. It's like, holy Yes, it's
Oh,
not,
I
it's
got
going
him
up and down my legs right now. And it's like, holy moly. Okay. So we are really tapping into some really deep lines here. Okay. So let's go back to the energy of healing. Okay. Her and I'm looking just by talking to her. Did you mind? No, just by her making certain connections. She just flipped. I watched her meridians. And now they're all going in the direction they're meant to. And where is it? But it's when it's towards herself and nobody's looking. You go into that very interesting space and you beat yourself up with guilt. Do you or don't you?
I feel like I definitely do.
Now, that would explain. We have a private group, and somebody said in the private group, which I thought was interesting, was even though I knew that the guilt and she healed it out and she's working on it, she says, but there was a part of me that just felt like, no, it doesn't matter. I still have to guilt myself. And I'm thinking, oh, well, that's definitely another pattern. It's like we have to, it's like our go-to. This is what we have to do.
It's a fail-safe.
Can you hear that? There is an alarm going on outside. That's funny. So spirit is trying to get my attention. This alarm, why is that alarm happening? Because you have to, your habit is to always be in an alarm. Wait, it's like, oh, now my hips are going nuts. Oh, ow. It's the joints itself because it says, I can't really settle or sit because I don't know when the next fight's going to happen. I don't know when the next is happening. You have to be ready to go. Oh, God. Okay, so this is what that is. So you store the pain as a way to show you to protect yourself. And it's the alarm. Wow. Diana hears it. So people do hear it. Okay, so what else do we need to know? There's a part of you that goes into petrified. Something happened at 7 that was very much that this is what's playing out in this, but it's what you do to yourself. You have to be guilty. So were you, okay, so now I became the good little girl. Okay. And were you were the opposite, right?
I can remember standing outside with my bike, and I don't know if I was around 7 or not, and I can remember having conversations in my head about, well, I don't ever want to go to prison. I don't ever want to be bad. But yeah, I always felt like I couldn't be the good one.
Okay, you hit it because the alarm just quit. All right. So have you seen the cartoon movie? Oh my God. Okay. Don't put it on my head. I know somebody here knows this movie. And it is, he had to become bad because good was already taken. And I can see him. He's that big blue head alien dude. Oh my God. Okay. You'll just have to tell me later and I'll email it to her. But the thing is that good's already taken. And so I have to become bad. But in your case, there's a part of you that I have to do it a certain way because when you go and listen to this back again, make sure you hear it. Okay. Because it's how you said it. And there's a belief system that sets right in there. And when you witness it, that's when all of a sudden you're going to go, you're going to feel exactly where it is in the body. That's when you can get a hold of it and you can start doing a healing tool. Yes, you can do L3D because that goes, this goes with Amy too. It's a part of a dread. Okay. So it's addressing it on a deeper level. Nice. Okay. So you're supposed to, they couldn't say just dread because they didn't want you to have that certain connection. They wanted you to go through all this so you can feel. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because it's like, we have an alarm again. We have an alarm again. And this is her right now. Let me see your body. Oh, okay. So you said the word prison. There's a certain amount of shame that comes with this. Yes?
Yes.
And the person that you knew, did they have shame?
Probably.
See, you didn't feel it. There's a certain part of you says probably. Okay, so.
I feel like, no, I think it's probably just my filters that says that they should have shame.
There, it's the should. It's okay. Just like you should be ashamed of yourself for standing up for your own rights.
Yes.
And that's why you're arguing that, okay, again, they don't want me to repeat it. You have to look at that, and when you put it together, oh, I can't wait for you to just put it together. That's going to be awesome. You would confuse yourself because you would start to figure it out, and then all of a sudden you would hear criticism in your head thinking it's the other voice. So like that movie Illusions with Kirk Douglas, the scene that I wanted you to see, which I couldn't get a clip of, was when the boy is like going, oh, he imagining his father that he's never met. You're such a rotten kid. You deserve hell.
I watched that movie.
Okay, so you saw that part where he's condemning himself, and then Kurt is sitting back in his, in the movie theater going, no, I would have never said that. Yeah. So that was, when I thought of that, I thought of you immediately. I'm thinking, okay, I want you to really see that piece, that we really start to form these thoughts in our head that this is what people would think. Yeah. This is what I think they would think. And notice how much we obsess with that. And it controls us. So why do you have to have that person's, that type of thinking? It's because it's emotional instability. It's something that you, and they're going back to 7 years old, you weren't able to. So what happened at 7? Let me just break it down. Something happened. Her brain is going, oh my God. It's a reject. She can't quite accept. She can't get her mind wrapped around it. You got to have life make sense again. The alarm's turned off, so I got it correctly. And you are, I can't cope, handle, and deal with this. What am I doing? I can't do it. How do I stop? Ooh. So your 41 thoughts per minute is 41 thoughts of that. Okay. And if you got, did you have bipolar in your life or just?
I was diagnosed at 15.
Okay. I think a part of it started at 7 because you couldn't differentiate between how to cope with that moment. Okay. And as I'm looking at that, because you're 7-year-old, your brain's still, oh, good. No, your brain is starting to evolve out of this. But what happens is that there's part of your brain. One side says, need to be compatible. And the other one says, oh, hell no, you don't. So when the information tries to relay, then all of a sudden it's like they have to have 2 different opinions. So energetically, we have to help you with that. And what particular thing at 7? We're going to go back to L3D. So you're going to rewatch that, get that particular feeling we're looking for. Don't be surprised if you don't get it the first time around. It'll be like when you're in the shower, or you're laying in bed, you're like, oh, that's it. And he says he's going to do everything he can to help download so that you can heal past this, because he wants to help you grow, because he knows it's in you. And he's pointing to me. He says, because it's in the bloodline, I know you can. Okay, that's good. Yes. That's funny. Oh, my sister's here. So yeah, my sister really cared for Terry. Okay, so that's a family reunion. I don't need to see this. So thank you very much for coming on, and especially talking about something that's very vulnerable. But I know you just did a great service to help me, per se, and you, but helping people to see it on a different level. That is so huge. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will talk to you soon, hon, okay?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oops. Yeah, that's correct. Thought I pushed the wrong button. How are you doing with your dread?
I think I shifted out of it.
Now, energetically, I can see that she has, and she's doing some interesting figure 8s. You're down to a 3. Now, okay. you part of you may not even know that 3 feels like it's gone. If I ask a little bit more, they said, well, there's a panic because panic and dread are hooked together.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what does it do? It hits and creates insecurity in me. So how would she want to heal that one out? And they said they want you to do with L2S. Okay. So any emails before you begin?
Yes, I have an email from Tilly about her sister. Can you do a healing for my sister Leah? She has a runny nose, burning in her lungs. A rash has come on her face. She has never gotten that before.
Okay.
And she'll timestamp it for her because she's already gone to bed.
Okay. So what I'm looking at is that, okay, we're going to do this. A lot of people, first of all, when people go through a particular thing that can be classified as a flu, classified as a common cold, there is a group conscious belief of negative thinking, a negative pattern that is sweeping through. And people are more vulnerable than others. And so we're going to look at a particular part of the vulnerability. But when you want to help the physical body to really shift, you can use the bobble wand. Now, did she buy one?
Yes, Billy.
Yes,
Billy
that's what I thought. Okay, so the thing you can do, Pilly, is that you got to start using your intuition. And the first thing you do is you need to help the heart pull and clean out the toxins. So you're just going to have the heart. Now, I'm sending it out on the scale, the grid, and it's working on the heart. Now it's going down. It wants to go over to the kidney to help filter out the, because there's two little tubes before it goes, urethra tubes. Oh, good. Pilly's here. And what happens is that it needs help. So you can use the bobble wand. Now this one may go crazy because it's got to break it up. So as soon as it goes forward or backwards, it needs to break. Here we go. So it's gonna have a mind of its own. And it'll break it up, chop it, do whatever, and just stay there. Don't move unless they really want you to pull. So you're going to have to learn how to use this, and it'll do a pull because it pulled me from the heart, but it didn't disconnect. So it's cleaning it out. Now it's trying to point. You can begin to feel how it points up. So that means, and I just follow it. Now they want to go back up to past the heart. They want to go to the throat. So they're looking now and they're showing me that it's the lymphatics. Now you don't have to remember any of this. I'm just telling you what I see, but just understand the energy of the body is that you're connecting with the innate. Now I'm going over to the spleen, the liver or spleen? Oh, it's meridians. Sorry. So it's trying to balance the meridians on both sides of the body. And whoa, I'm down by the hips. So it's like, so lymphatically it is, and you're going to keep doing this. What's going to have to understand is that if you can get to work with the child, then what you do is that it's hard when you're working on somebody because you don't want to beat them. You massage. So you're going to feel the bone slide down in the hole and you're going to massage and do that. And you may have to do it up to 30 times or you do it gentle. If they say it's sore, understand that means there's congestion. Do it softly. Then underneath here, not in the line, but just come forward a little bit, there's the spleen 22. Now I'm going to tap it because I don't want my boobs to jiggle. So you can rub those spots with your thumbs, okay? Then you're going to, on the thymus, we have to get past it. So you're going to go, let's just play a game. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Be creative, do this and that. And then as that child is there, you're just going to tap on the head. Make sure you do both sides of the head. So you do it right in the middle. And you're going to tap here again. And then you're going to tap here. Okay. Now, sometimes when you're tapping on or you're rubbing, okay, you may feel like you're out of sync. Stay there until it syncs up, until there's a rhythmic sync. Now you're going to do one extra step. You're going to find underneath the armpit, okay? And you're going to feel. Now, sometimes you don't feel a pulse right away. That's fine. Now you're going to do the opposite. So on somebody, you're going to go to like this armpit, and then you're going to over to here. Now, over here is where when your legs come, you're bending and you're sitting. So this is, let's say this is your legs. Okay. It's right here and you're going to touch right here. So you're going to have one side. Oops. Well, on me, I can only do it this way, and then you're going to do the opposite. Okay. So you're going to take and hold them and just gentle. You don't need to rub, just gentle. And what happens is that you're going to keep it there until all of a sudden you'll start to feel eradicated pulses. But stay there, and all of a sudden you're going to feel synchronicity. Then switch to do the other side. there's a miscommunication that's happening, and the lymphatic system is congested, which means now you need to do a neurolymphatic. And this is lymphatics, but it's named after the organ. So here's the breastbone, and then you have this. You're going to rub back and forth, and then you're going to come out and just kind of feel between the ribs, and you're going to do this, and that's going to help take out the lymphatics that's building up in those areas, okay? To process some of the stuff is that right underneath, just file right underneath, you know, you can just rub or hold, and that will help out a great deal to get the lymphatics to start to move. Okay, so who's next?
I wrote down Danny.
Danny. Okay. I got to look up. Hi, Catherine up there. Okay, so I got to get to the right screen in YouTube land as well. There we go. There's a Victoria Lee too. Okay, so some of you want to email just so that it, you know, we do answer those if I can't get connected with you. Now, Danny. Well, now I don't know if this is a medication that you're on or what, but oh, my whole body's like messed up. Just a second. Whew, okay, so they're showing me that the energies inside are just like going wonky. And I'll say, okay, first is the polarity off? No, it's okay. Is the no, that's correct. Where is it? So it is the distress. Her body's in great amount of distress. Her heart has stored it as a way that you cope. Whoa. So, and what happens with the heart meridian is if it'll store, I can't cope. Sometimes it stores it as frightfully overjoyed, inappropriate laughing, but yours is stressed. How I cope is to stress. All right, that's a very unhealthy coping tool. And because your body is forever trying to figure out how to get out of the sympathetic nervous system, it's trying to go back to balance. They say that you do not want to vividly recall what happened to you at 6. Instead of just storing it in the subconscious mind, you had to learn how to cope, handle, and deal, and it was with that moment. Now I'm going to ask Spirit, what would you like her to do? Well, it shows that there's an incompatibility. At 6 years old, you were just felt like you were completely incompatible. So when you are not just storing it as the stress as your coping tool, I'm just going to go a little deeper real quick. Because in the repulsion compatibility, they said it's about how you are going to have to look at the beliefs. Your beliefs and their beliefs, and it is actually what causes you to be locked in. So, and it's funny because you can become incompatible with food and situations, but in this case, you're incompatible with that beliefs. It causes you to, the best way to do it is that you notice that you're intolerant. I cannot tolerate that anymore. And as soon as you can't tolerate it, your body just goes into that state. They said that the best thing for you at this point would be a triple warmer hug. I'd say a triple warmer smooth. So what you got to do is that you're going to hold right here, okay? And you're going to grab your elbow. We got to get your body. And in this case, they want you to rock too. So breathe and rock. You need a hug. And you need to know that everything's all right. Your little self didn't get this, so you're going to close your mind and you're going to go in and you're going to look and call upon your little self to come in. Now, I see a 6-year-old. You can see many other ages if you need to, but whoever needs a hug, and then they need to be rocked. They didn't get this at that time that it needed it the most. And after you start to feel the rhythm of the elbow and the point as maybe feel for a balance. You may not, but you may. Then you can switch. Okay, again, grabbing the point and then here, and you rock. Okay, literally you can begin to, it's important to look at that little self and just begin to hold and rock. And notice that that little girl needs it. Be the mother for that little girl. Okay, if you have, the strangest part is sometimes that little girl may be a little boy, or you show up and you're looking and you're like, but I look like a man. It depends on if you're supposed to have the yang or the yin or yang energy to give to that inner child. Okay, or that inner child is a particular yang or yin energy. That's what I would tell you to do. Okay, who's next?
TP.
TP. TP, we have a disconnect from the radiate circuits. Okay. The radiate circuits is that's your connection. We're hardwired for joy. Yours is disconnected. Do I want to roll it in? No. In this case, you're repulsed by what? Sour grapes. Now, I would tell Amy to look up sour grapes, but she's holding on to her kitty. So sour grapes is that, let's see if I can pull it up.
Hey, Google, what's the meaning of sour grapes?
Used to refer to as an attitude in which someone adapts a negative attitude to something because they cannot have it themselves.
Yep.
Got it. So it is adopting a negative attitude. What does that mean? Well, you can feel their negative attitude. And you can feel how they do to you. There's a part of you that has a habit that is literally in the body. And that is what's going on with the nerves, is that it's holding a negative attitude. What's interesting is you don't have to have it in your head. You may not think that you're being negative, but your body is saying it had to in order to survive. So if I'm looking at the negative attitude, it has to do with the word hate. You felt them hate you. Your body's response is to, I hate you. And your brain knows no other difference between you and a mirror, you and someone else. It just sees you and you. If your body is adapting to it. Now, how did part of you become in a negative attitude? Guess what happens? Your immune system will become hate. So is your immune system hate? Yes. We need to get that out. The best way for you to do that is to hold L1D. It's like the way to address it and think it would be, I hate when they do that to me. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare your cat. But it's when you're in the heat of the moment, it is that, okay, that is what you're going to focus on because that's what your body's doing is screaming, Okay, L1D. Next.
Pilly.
Pilly. I thought we did Pilly.
No, we did her sister.
Oh, we did her sister. Okay, Pilly. Yes. Anything particular? No? Okay. Energies are pretty good. Water system doesn't look bad. But it's the way you're looking. They're showing me it's the way you're looking. So is there a filter? The filter of how I think other people think of me. So the RTJP. And what is that? So how you think other people think of you is how you think toward yourself. And they said that there's a part of you that has a little bit of panic. Where you're holding it, if I had ovaries, that's the area. Because it hurts. I don't know why we're talking that way. And then you lose your voice. And then there's a part of you that says no. And then, wow, really? You made a career out of being strong and I can do this. The filter, understand the filter is that they're asking you to really look at how awkward some of these feelings have. Having trouble seeing well. Yeah, it's literally affecting your eyes. So I says, is it affecting the liver? No, not in this case. Normally liver has to do with the eyes. They're saying that this one has to do with worry. It's like you have to see worry. It's like this is how you train yourself. That's that filter I'm referring to. What would be the best way to heal that out? If you know hope therapy, it's R2S. Otherwise, notice you're expecting a certain outcome each time with particular people. Okay? It's going to make you irrelevant. It's going to make you irrelevant. Yes, ovaries. Sometimes hurt. Yes. Now that energy is dislodging all that. So we got to get that out of there. And especially towards people that have erratic behavior. Nice 1 minute, nasty the next. Or they had something bad happen and they're agitated because they can't get their way. And it looks like one thing after another just seems to stop them from having joy. And then they take it out on you. That is the pattern I'm seeing. Interesting. Yes, definitely need to heal that. Okay, who's next?
There was a Victoria in YouTube land, but I'm not sure if she's still there.
So Victoria, if you're still there, Victoria Lee. See, some people are learning me. They can't wait. That's fine. And well, if she's there, we'll be glad to help. Marie, the price today is $23 because, and come live and then we can do some more work. Because it's about getting in deep, showing you energetically what needs to be done, understanding the energetic pattern differently. So we have people that are just watching. I appreciate that. Some people have left. It's fine there too. We thank you for the share. We thank you for all this. You're welcome. So it made sense, Pilly? So, Amy, you're holding your cat. I'm assuming you're done healing.
I think so. I didn't want to get clawed.
The point is that did you do the healing?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you are down to 0. So now, how do you feel now? Comparative, So tell me how you feel.
It's better.
Okay. Is it a complete difference than how you felt before we started healing this morning?
Oh my God, yes.
So that you can actually have a thought that's happy? And the cat
I
is chewing on
saw
you.
it with wanting to burst into tears. All right, Lily, goodbye.
She's done. Okay.
She's done.
And so's Amy. Amy's done. So that's good. That's good that you are looking at that space. You know what I mean? That you know when it's happening and you don't have to fall victim to it and lose your choice. And it was good that you tried all the tools and yet you still reached out to me. That is good. And Pilly said, it makes total sense. My vision has been going blurry lately. Well, when it comes to the eyes, it does not want to see something. So sometimes it may be rejecting it, or sometimes somebody doesn't want you to see what they're doing. In your case, you have that particular filter. So your eyes are trying to tell you something. Okay, messages from the body.
Diana.
Diana. Oops, we like Diana. Okay, Diana. So I know that it feels that you feel like you're going backwards, but you actually are going forwards. Now, please go into the group and notice how other people have talked about guilt and how it's like, okay, they have to go and look at how it controls them. So we're looking at what controls you. So it's not per se a particular emotion as far as you're going to drive myself crazy. I can't stop thinking about somebody. There's something behind it. And they said that there's envy. Great movie for you to watch would be Envy itself. The movie is called Envy. It has to do with Jack Black in it. But it is to notice what envy feels like. So look up what envy is and look up to how you've seen it, how people do it to you, how you've done it to others. Look at it from all angles. And then you're going to hold L3D because you're going to tap into a bad memory. You may not remember it, but your body certainly does. And your thoughts, your mental, emotional body certainly does. And that's what keeps throwing you back into a particular thing. Pilly said something about, I thought some of my sister's problems of being sick was also because she hasn't cried for the loss of mom yet. Oh, you know what? I never got there because I wanted to make sure that you physically got better. But when you look at this, yes, there's a wound. And when you can't process something, it will show up. And a lot of times it will clog up your ability to process out and keep germs out. And, you can't no longer keep the sadness out because the sadness now is creating congestion. One of the things that will happen to Amy is like, she'll have this emotion and she can feel it and it's taking control. And she goes to heal it out. She goes, but I feel like shit afterwards. And it's because sometimes the chemical peptide of the emotion will go nuts. And then when all of a sudden, like for instance, doctors, I've learned this and other examples is that a person will be in high stressed emotions, everything's going nuts. And all of a sudden when they're not having it anymore and the emotion calms down, then the toxins, the residue, the shit that it evacuated, and is that it dumps into your system. And then now your system is trying to figure out how to process out the residue. So Amy will work on something and all of a sudden she's like, holy crap, it's kicked her ass. Because it threw off her minerals, it threw off her vitamins, it threw off her electrolytes. And the electrolytes is one reason why a person will physically become sick, because the potassium and the sodium are just not in sync. They're just, and again, it can be the process of that not having, or process of a loss.
I have
Lillian, I will take Lillian. Somehow I think Lillian is sending it to another email. But so Lillian, we're going to take you and I don't think I can open that email up, but I will try to open up, I think where I know where she's sending it. Not this one. What's going on?
It says, I would love a reading in regards of a situation at work with someone I've reported because he's been abusive with me.
All right, I need to hear that first part. There's a word in there. Go ahead, do it again.
I would love a reading in regards of a situation at work with someone I reported because he was been abusive with me.
Okay, she says verbally abusive. Okay, so yes, Lillian. Okay, so that situation occurred. You were working on jealousy. And, I can feel it. Oh my God, Lillian, just give me a second. I got to follow this feeling. Okay. Was it because you didn't want to? So now you've done this, and now the after effects is you have to do something towards yourself. And, that fits with what's going on with Amy. So what do you have to do to yourself? And that you have to put yourself in overwhelm because they're going to come and attack you. This is the feeling I feel like you feel like they're going to come and attack you. There's a consequence for doing that. And this goes back to when you were 5 years old, was that when you tattled on someone, there was a big ass consequences and for this. And the person aimed at you in a jealousy as far as, also very much what? It affected their stability, their pride, and they just, it was, now I got a ringing in my ear. It makes my head go off because it's like, now the energy, it's like they saw you. It's like, now they really see you. And they would swear up and down that they weren't abusive. Now they're not running scared. It's like you're a target. It's like now they're saying, oh, pay attention to me. And we don't want you to lose your power, because you're repeating something that happened at 5. And so there's a part of you that's like, but I am standing up for myself. But now there's a party that wants to make yourself irrelevant. Okay. I know she's following along. There's a sense of awkwardness. I don't know if I can. We're going to address the fact that it's like, I don't want to go to work. So you're going to hold R3S. And I want you to feel that instability. I want you to feel how they seem to be stable and you seem to be unstable. And that is the energy that's shooting at you. So as you hold that, I want you to do one more thing, and that is quickly in your mind, imagine that you're zipping up from your taint area, zip up, and you're zipping this way and you're locking it. Okay. And you hold that point, like I said, and you hold it and you keep, what did I tell her to hold? Oh, R3S, because we got to get you out of the, R3S is about the triple worm, which is like you're sitting on a train track and the train is coming at you. You know you got to move, but you can't move. And you're just like, I got to move. If you can't get up and walk, You can't get up and process, then you hold R3S. Okay? And literally allow yourself to feel better. Okay? You're going to have to sit through it, because if you don't hold it with a tool, you're going to hardwire it in your brain. We don't want that. It's already there. We need to get it out. They want to show you who? Her? Oh, they're going through stages. How interesting. Because the stage I see is that like they want to really do this to you, but they're pouting. Well, that's interesting. So, yeah, they're pouting. I mean, the lips sticking out. You'll process it out because I can feel it. I know you can. But the other side of the coin is why did it happen? What energy was in you that the soul had this happen? And they said, well, it's because this is the thing you were working on is processing out decisions. I'm going to do this for me instead of having to do it for them. And as you are making big decisions to change your working environment and making decisions about what's right for Lillian, you're reenacting what happened at 5. And that says, oh, you can't make your own decision. You have to make the decision I want. And they got mad. And you literally saw this. What you're seeing now is what actually you saw then. Does that make any sense? Very curious. That's a deep one. Okay, anybody else?
Missy Johnson is wanting a free card.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're doing energy work and healing. But if you want to... Okay, so we're just going to do the card. I feel a lung thing. It's like you have to take people's grief side for one. And it's like every time you try to make an engagement to do something, your body says that it wants to stay an introvert. So do you like being an introvert? Because it's literally saying, oh, you have to learn how to engage. So there's a part of your growth process that's happening now. So if you're an extrovert and you're going out and you're engaging so much, they're telling you to take back and be okay with it taking in not being engaged as much, but allowing yourself to engage differently. Yes, we're getting right to you, Marie.
I pulled the card from the news Starseed deck.
Hold on, I got to make you bigger. And we are taking you, Marie, next. Are you going to, well, the reason we were waiting is, first of all, we'll get to the card, put it down. Nobody can see it, AIM, yet. I will pull you up in just a second. Do you want to go live? Did you get that answer whether she wants to go live? It is a video. If she does, then you need Zoom room, and this is the number, 121-893-288. You can join us in the room. I can make you big so that you can see it, or you can be small and nobody will see it. That's up to you. Okay? That's up to you. See, if I make it small, then nobody sees it. Or I can make you big and like this, and then everybody sees it. That's up to you. Marie, I know that you're Sonya. So hopefully you heard that. Oh, that's okay. Misty, you're going to have to go back and rewatch that. Okay, the timestamp is 2:20, I think. Start there like a minute before or after, and you'll see your answer, your card, and what I had said about it. Okay, so if, Marie, you don't want to do any of that, you want to be small, that's good. If you don't want to do that and you want me to do it just like this, then that's fine. I will just go and make it like this, and I can... Is there anything specific as far as emotions or health that you want to talk about? So we'll decide if she wants to come online or if she wants to do it in there. I mean, because like I said, the voice is good to be able to have. We can hide the picture. So how are we doing? Oh, you lost sound. Can you hear it all now, Nicole? See, and yeah, that Victoria had left. Okay, so I'm going to look over here and check anybody else. No, we got it. It's great when you share out to groups and things like this. It's, I never know what the best time to do it in. So you want to do Zoom? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're just sitting here waiting for you, and you just have to type in, say, join room, and then you type that number in. Virginia Flores, send an email for healing. Oh,
she's telling her to do that.
Yeah, I just want to say I didn't even see that name. Well, you know what?
Opt-in, that's why. She hasn't said anything yet.
Yes, I'm about to do that. You know what? It's okay if you can't. It helps. If you want something specific, otherwise I'll just tell you what I want, what Spirit wants. You go get your daughter from school, and you have a wonderful day, Ann. We'll see you later. Diana? You gotta get that. Your mother says, wait, there's an A on the end of her name. Don't say Diane. Diana. Diana. You know how to say it. Or you know how to hear it. But her mother come through and they go, Diana. And it's like, I don't know how she says it. She has an accent to me. I cannot hear her. Except for there's a on the end. I can't. This Michigan gal does not have that ability to do that. Probably could. So, you know what? Virginia Flores, has it come through? Because we could take her while we're waiting.
It hasn't yet.
Well, so remember to refresh to see if it can come quicker. I'm going to look at the Virginia Flores, because one thing that they said is that there's a certain amount of anxiety when people are around her that says, what about me? It's their what about me attitude. It's very interesting. So energetically, one of the things that I feel, yeah, serves, okay, the filter point. So the point in the back of your head. Interesting. Any healing spirit wants. Good. Okay, so do you want her to hold these points? Okay, what's interesting about this, Virginia, is that what I would like you to do is if you have any certain kind of smells, and I'm saying anything, they said that you have like essential oils or whatever the essential oil is, they're not telling me exactly. They just said that you can have one, that you have one, or you know of one. They want you to smell this. Now, what's also until you feel the energy. So interesting. Here's a whole different healing tool. Really? Whoa. Okay, so on the back, I can't show it, but on the back of my skull, it's where the bone comes together and comes down. There's 2 points. So again, where it comes down. Okay. They said if you could end up taking and rubbing that with your finger and your thumb, and you place your hand like this is really holding it right down there. Your spinal cord needs to release some emotional pattern. I find this fascinating. Okay. Wow. Okay, so wow. So you just rub it and you hold this. Now they said to think of the thing that's bothering you, whether it's anxious or anxious is the word. Okay, so they said find the statement when you feel anxious. And then you already know the feeling of the energy block. You can measure it, put it on a scale from 0 to 10, give it a color. And they said, as you're rubbing there and holding this, take a sniff, reach down, grab some oil, put some underneath your nose or whatever, and take a sniff. Again, they're not being very specific of what that is. And I think it has to do with the different emotions that go with the oil. And I'm not sure which oil was best for anxious. So you can look that up. And then when you're holding this and you're inhaling it, you mouth the statement without any sound. Say it until the energy releases. and you connect to stillness. As you're saying it and you're focusing on the emotion of anxious, then all of a sudden you stay there until it calms. Oh, that's good. I didn't know we could take it out of the spinal cord, but obviously, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yep, we can. Nobody can see you, Sonya, and I just will unmute you so that we can hear you, and we will go. Hi, darling. How are you?
Low blood pressure, laughing out a lot, anxiety, rampant.
Okay, so she's got low blood pressure. That's what's going on. And you need to get it up. What's the first thing you want her to do? First thing we're going to do is that you see this point right there under the thumb, right there in the crack. I want you to rub that on one side, and then after about 30 times, rub it on the other. We got to get that heart to come in sync with your body. Okay. So start that up real quick. And then do you want to do another point? Yeah, just okay. So Amy, grab the bobble wand, and I need you to aim it at her seventh chakra, because the energy is just really okay. Very good. And as she's doing that, there's a party that's doing self-rejection for being a she. It's like whatever choice that you made as far as being a female, it's like you have to reject being a she. It's she rejection. All of a sudden, that's what I feel like you're doing. And it's like you're tired of self-justifying your actions to somebody. And you're losing more and more power that your body wants to just start to check out. Does that sound about right?
That's perfectly correct.
Okay. All right, keep rubbing. Okay, so now I feel a little bit more stable. The blood feels, so what's happening is your body's now going into a habitual fear. You're like, oh my God, I know this. And now you're doing a yearning. There's a yearning that you just want something over. Whatever this battle that you're going through, it says that I want it over. So where do you want her to hold? They want you to hold R1D. So now you're going to take your right wrist underneath your thumb right there and put your finger. Yeah, yes, there we go. So push your thumb in there. Remember, it's right there. And the first point, go like this. And then just allow yourself to breathe and feel the body, feel the yearning. You're just like, I just want this to stop. Oh my God, I don't want to go there, because the yearning is another reason why it's pulling you in, if that makes any sense. You're doing really good. Hang in there. And I just have to look something up. Oh, there's a shift. Keep going. Amy, now, if it feels like it's pulling down, do the back of the sixth chakra. So your intention is the back of the sixth chakra. Very good. Very good. I'm asking your body to start taking and imitate the mirror, which is me. And just allow yourself to just, there you go. There you go. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's good. Now, make sure you move your hand up so that the top of your fingers can touch the top of your head like this up here. I need you to be able to touch here, because I want to balance that neurolymphatic, the neurovascular, up there. There you go. Very good. Very good. Allow yourself to just relax. You feel, you've been feeling this way for a while?
Yeah, a long time. About 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. What did the doctor say? Have you talked to him?
No, I completely forgot about it when I went to sleep, and I just plugged this over the prescriptions.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. You're doing good.
Matrix mode.
Yeah. Okay. So you're doing good. Just keep breathing. Okay. Things are starting to feel a little bit better. Now, notice that this is your auto response. You're like, I just don't want to be in this situation. That's what I keep hearing. You're like, okay. And it's like your body is saying, okay, fine, we're just going to have to take you out of the game because you can't seem to stop this person. It feels like a person.
Yes,
They
that's exactly what it is.
Okay, now I feel like they're constantly in your face, creating an overwhelm.
That's exactly what's going on.
Okay, and so we're just going to take, and I'm going to work on your aura just a little bit, and that means I'm just going to see if your body will start mimicking me, so it can start creating a. There you go. We're just going to start to get this to bounce. Who's yawning? I feel energy moving. Somebody's moving energy.
It's me.
Good. That's what we want. We want the energy to move.
I'm fighting.
Well, just keep breathing. Keep just.
My girl.
Okay, energy moving. We yawn, and it's because we are getting the energy. There we go. We got a little shift, a little one. I'll take that. That's good. Now, that's much better. What do we need to do now? We need to. Who's stubborn? The word stubborn come up. Who's stubborn? They or you?
Well, both of us actually.
And so now you feel attacked, yes?
Yes.
And
very much so.
Okay. I'm
backed into a corner.
Gotcha. Got you. All right. Now you're going to hold L2S. You're going to go over to your left wrist, honey. Do the second position and put your thumb in the second position, nice and soft. Okay. Now I want you to feel just that, being backed in the corner. Feel all of that. Feel how it's coming at you. We're going to start to remove, transcend, let it go. Okay, so you're going to just take and just remove, transcend. We're going to pull it out. We're going to give your little self instructions. Pull it out, pull it out. Let the energy come out. And I want you to notice how they don't back down. I want you to feel like magnetically they're being pulled out of your sight and your ears and off your body. They're being pulled out. And you feel like, okay, whew. And there's a party that feels like you can breathe a little bit. I don't know. Can you feel better? I mean, because...
That's pretty bad, isn't it?
Yes, but we're going to get there. We're getting there. So this is a habit you guys have been doing for a while. So now we got to get ahead of the game on this because your body says, I'm so tired of being an it in this relationship. But you don't know who you'd be without them anyway. Because how they suck you in is they praise you and give you love and convince you that you're the greatest. And then as soon as you got that, the game plays all over again.
That's right. That's right.
And you fall for it. And the part is that your body is so tired of this alarm system. It's like, I can't do this. I refuse to do this. It's saying, I won't do this. I don't want to do this. I mean, you've got all the knots in there. So that you've actually created a compulsion, and so that's okay. A compulsion to do what? I'm not as important as you think I am because you're a liar. Okay, so now I hear you arguing. Because you want the expanded importance of self, because you are important, but the way they convince you that you're important and then they take it all away, you're like, oh my God, stop looking at me. Stop showing me love because this love is, oh wow. All right, the association is love is tainted. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but this is what I'm seeing.
Sometimes, yes.
Okay, and then it's like this. Then you've gone there. You've gone to that you can't trust, and then you feel attacked. And that okay, now literally, I got to help the body. The body, it's okay. Let's pull this out. You're going to take your power back from them. Say that's my power. So you're going to imagine.
There's a big shift.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to notice them in front of you, and you're going to say, and you're going to see an entanglement cord, and you're going to say, "That's my power. I'm going to take your shit off of me now. We're going to remove, transcend, let it go, let it go, let it go." And you're going to say, "That's mine." And you're going to take your power back. Take your power back. Keep it going. Yes, I am. I'm glad you are. So keep doing it. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. Take all your power back. And so make sure that you feel like you got your power in your feet. You're like, you know what? I can stand on my own 2 feet. I'm done with this. So you got to get that power back. Your power. get all their crap off. It's not, you don't need it anymore. And I want you to find that no matter how irritating they are, so I want you to hold R3D if you can. So right wrist, third position deep. And I want you to feel how you long for this person to stop being an annoying idiot. And they got to stop calling it love. With that giggle, I'm assuming that's correct. Okay. And so when they start dancing in front of you, you no longer start to feel annoyed. I want you to literally notice that you're just like, you don't bother me anymore.
Yeah, don't go back to factory settings.
Yeah. There you go. I didn't even hear that alarm outside going off again. There you go. Now notice that when he goes into, I'm assuming it's a him, erratic behavior, your body goes into, it can't stabilize because now you've had this relationship that as soon as he goes erratic, this is how you're supposed to behave. And you're like, I don't want to behave that anymore because that hurts me. So we have to make you immune to when he gets too erratic. And you're going, there you go. And you're going to just start pulling. Every time he does this, I want you to be able to pull your power back and be done responding to this. You're done. And he's always saying, look at my, and he's always in your face. And he's yelling out, what about me? What about me? Even though it is in a weird way, because he ain't directly saying it. All right, so part of your job, my sweetheart, you did really good. How do you feel now?
I feel so much better.
Your job now is to begin to notice when you see it, and then you're going to have to learn to put boundaries and say, no, we're done. And when he does it, I want you to imagine that you keep pulling your power back and keep pushing. I want you to constantly be doing that so you train yourself not to have to lose it.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what the habit's been, and you got to now change the habit to something healthier.
I've noticed I am slowly not losing it as much as dwindling.
Oh, that is so good, Sonya. That is so good.
It's improving. It is very much improving.
Yeah, your energy looks a lot better.
Thank you.
Yes. Amy, how do you feel now?
Good.
Good. Okay, we're going to leave you with that. And thank you so much for coming on and being patient. And we are thankful that you were able to, I know you just helped other people. Thank you. All right. So we'll talk to you later, sweetheart. I appreciate you coming on.
Bye.
Okay. Hopefully you guys got to experience that. We thank her for at least bringing in her voice and so that you can hear it. It is very important to understand that when we go and have something happen, end up creating a habit in a relationship, and this depends on how we responded, we reacted, behave. It can really throw you off, and it can become so routine and so monotonous. And that is what we need to heal, because you don't need your body to build up into that. Okay, so good. You work on that, Lillian, because we want to make sure that cord. And you may also, Lillian, want to go into my website, medicinewomansolution.weebly.com. That's with 2 E's and 1 B. Go there and look at the healing tool, cord switching. For you, that would be beneficial. And picking yourself up off the floor is the other healing tool that you'll need, because you literally need to begin to pick yourself up when that happened. Your body goes, oop, and then I see a whole bunch of energy jump on the floor. That's yours. I need you to gather it all up. Become you again. Okay. All right. Anybody else in the room that wants a quick 1-minute read, or if you want to pay, that's up to you. So how is everybody doing? And it looks good. We're doing really well.
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn. What's going on here? All right. What is this? Not being able to talk my truth. Okay. So one of the things that I see is energetically, the fifth chakra. What happens is this literally begins to, well, you can't speak your truth when you don't know, but I want you to pay attention to when, there's a part of cooperating and working as a group or being in a partnership. But when somebody wants everything their way, then you begin to live life through them. You have to live your life through them. And then sometimes you're afraid to do something and to go and do something. So you live your life by watching and talking through other people. And they said that your body is saying it wants to do more than just that. It wants to achieve the next round. So they're saying a part of your healing is energetically see how you're doing things and then literally use a healing tool, a tapping tool, whatever it is to resolve that out. But maybe the first part is just awareness. Vicky, hi, darling. All right, let's see where you are. Energetically, all of a sudden, it's like really weird because I feel like half my brain's doing one thing, half of my brain's doing another. My right ear seems to be doing something strange. And it is, you're so tired of hearing the hatred. The other half is so immune to it. It's like, that it continues. But no, so you're meant to change this. So how you're going to have to heal out what you hear is that you can hear people's jealousy. Anything else besides jealousy? The cry, what about me? Blah, 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 blah. And notice how they use those words to mess with you so that it can actually go back to, I need time. It's the words. And I'm asking, well, what do you want her to do? They want you to hold L3D to get you to first recognize it, because your body does one thing and you're ready to heal that out. Okay. Wonderful. Oops. Let me go back over here. And I can't see because the darn thing's in my way. Okay. So anybody else in YouTube land? Anybody else? Anybody in the other room, Medicine Woman Solution room? And anybody else here? But if that's it, then so I've been doing a show, and I think the rhythm is this. Every Monday, you're welcome, Vicki. Every Monday and every Tuesday and then every Thursday. So 3 shows a week. They are at 3 different times. Pay attention to my fan page to get that. My fan page is, you can look for it to say Medicine Woman Brenda. There's 2 of them, but you'll find it on the one when I have the yellow shirt. Then you are also going to look at, you can take the time converter. You put South Australia. I know she's going to do one at 9 p.m. What time is it going to be where I live? For instance, Amy's going to say, oh, if I put it in, what time is it at 9 p.m. at night is 4:30 a.m. in the morning. If she wants to, she can set her alarm and get up. Wait, she does, because she comes on with me.
But I started out setting my alarm so that I could get up and watch you.
Yeah, because see, that's how she first met me, was when I did the 9 p.m. show here in South Australia, which happened to be. Oh, I can't hear you, babe.
A year ago yesterday.
See, and I just started basically in January, middle of January or something like that is when I started. How did we do that? I wanted the screen to be not there. That's what I wanted. But anyways, in the middle of January is where I started. Last year it was like, go, Brenda, go. And I'm like, what am I doing? I had no equipment. Spirit says, oh, you're going to do this. And I'm like, well, you're going to have to provide some type of computer, because I got nothing. I got no phone. I got nothing. And then Spirit had worked through some of my friends, and Lenore says, here, I'm not using this anymore. So she gives me a laptop. It had a camera in it and it worked. And then throughout the time, I mean, Amy ended up giving me one of her old iPads. So now I can actually see what's going on, So I've got everything rearranged, and now I've got not one, but I've got 3 cameras going in 3 different places. How's that? And Spirit made it happen.
That's cool.
Aw, thank you. Happy anniversary. Yeah. And so now it's like this year, it's all about I'm supposed to get the classes going. And then next year, I think it's all about putting myself in the booths and other places and going to events, maybe. I don't know. Ah, Philly says you keep looking better. And better, Amy. Ooh, yes. So you're seeing a difference in Miss Amy. What, from the beginning of the show or all together? I'm curious, Pilly.
I'm sure. Come here, kitten. Kitty.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight.
See, and I didn't want her to, because she's like, I'm a mess, which snot, everything. And it's like, Spirit, I says, if she could only wait an hour. Now, you got to understand, I'm not exploiting her. I gave her an opportunity to work with me. And I asked people, do you want to be able to be, get free healings if you become vulnerable and do it on videos and stuff like this? And she says, I'll be your guinea pig. I said, okay. And it worked. But today it was like, Spirit, we can't do that to her. What can we give her so she can feel better? So she can feel good about coming on the show. And then they said, we'll give her this point. Hold up your cup. We want to see the cup. Very nice. I want one. I like it.
Yes.
What'd you say?
JC Penney's.
Pilly says, she says, I can't wait to take classes. Yes. Okay, so she says, from when I started watching her. So you were getting better and better. Awesome. So that's good. It's good to know that people can see a difference. That's really good. Okay, so remember, 3 times a week, I'm going to post up a little thing, maybe half hour, maybe an hour before the show, so people have an idea. And we like Amy's new sign. It says, my tribe gets a little wild, and yes. I keep looking. You keep looking younger, Amy.
Jeez, thanks.
Well, let me tell you about what happens with healing. When you start really getting into that spirituality and you're doing the healings, resolving to evolve in spirituality, the energy frequency inside of you begins to actually help you become younger looking, because you're not putting out the same vibe that you have to age. Just thought I'd let you know that. Now, on me, you can see a whole facial thing different. I may look better, but actually my face is changing because I am moving particular energies out of my field. And this goes back. But yeah, I still feel good. Thank you very much for everything. Wait. Nicole says, any chance I have a... yes. Yeah, we can do that for you, Nicole. All righty. Everything's shifted. Everything is shifted to the point that I'm supposed to. Okay, so I'm in the weirdest, strange energy field. I don't know how to explain it. If I'm just sitting, it'd be normal to you. There's the indigestion. My head kind of feels a little off. There's so much going on. And spirit-wise, I'm asking somebody wants to talk, and they said, you have some habits that you have no idea that are happening. But it's the body is saying, this is what we're used to. This is what we're trained to do. Now, the subconscious mind is going to say, okay, the program is you're supposed to do this regardless. The soul is saying that it doesn't want you to do that particular habit. They want you to get out of it. And it is about how you learn to give up on expectations. So I'm going to ask, is it something you have to give up and move on? Or is it, I can't get my hopes up and I have to give up? No, it's not that. So it's the other one. Okay. What I mean by that is simply when you can't let go of something. It's like you really want that person to apologize, or you really want, to really work out, and you really want to go. Sometimes you have to actually notice that you're doing that. That's actually something you need to just let go of. Because the I I. It's about me. It's me. I. And you're looking, and the reason we go into that space is because we want to be paid attention to, or we want we don't want whatever the reality is saying. We want to reject that part of that reality and listen to what that body's doing. Who didn't listen to you? Who got it wrong? Where do you feel you have to overcompensate? Where do you feel you have to do self-justification? Where do you feel? Oh, Victoria Lee's back. Okay, good. We'll get you. So look at this. Okay. And they're saying that that feeling, that sensation, Nicole, needs to actually be taken out. And that is, what? Did you just say that you think that's your weakness? I don't know. Anyway, the point is you need to heal this out. And I would definitely say, God, you got how many going on? Okay, so it's wrapped in your identity. There's several things going on because all of a sudden my voice wants to change dramatically too. It's the hormones are shifting all over the place. Fudge. It goes. It's going into hysterical. You have a memory stored in your body that feels hysterical. So I feel one part of your body being really active of a particular memory, which is different than another part of your body, which is feeling that I'm worthless. And then I feel another part of my body that it's about weakness. That's why I feel so strange all over. And then there's this. In order for you to, I got to make sense of my world, you have to give yourself false self-assuredness about what just happened so that you don't physically lose it, which would make sense because your physical body is like, yes, the hormones are crazy. Oh, well, yay, good. All right. Now that we got that, one of the things I'm going to see what you can do, and then I'll give a read to Victoria. But what I want you to do is do you want her to do them all at the same time? I would say individually, but they're saying, no. She needs a rush job. So you're going to take your hand and you're going to put it right here. And they're going to make sure you touch here. So you got to go like that. Then there's the round part and the back part. So you're going to hold it like this. And just see if you can breathe and hold it. We got to get your hormones. And this access is when it's not working right. This is when your body goes into stress. We got to get the access to become in balance. We need to get the pineal and the pituitary and the hypothalamus to come in balance within the access, and then the hormones will start to balance the rest of the body. So that's the rooster crow. Stay there. If you get good at it, you're like, oh, I feel off, and you're beginning to know that your hand is like touching, like just here, okay, or here, or back here on the flat part. You can play around with it. You'd be amazed. Oh, God, definitely do that. I'm switching over to Victoria real quick. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I need some amber colors because I'm missing some amber. Aw, you're such a sweet Billy. Okay, really? Here we go. Victoria. I can't help being distracted. So what is that part of your personality? You feel like you can't, you have to, my head keeps going like this. Okay, Victoria? And it is a little discouraging when that happens because there's a part of you that wants to pay attention to a part of your life. It's not that you don't have focus or not motivated. It's not about procrastination. It's about you were expected. Look at Mike. You were expected. You had to look at somebody. And so there's a part of you that, and it's a program that's in there. Does this make sense to you, Victoria? And at the same time, there is this part of you that has to put a defense up. And so if you're looking, you feel more secure. That is the energy pattern that I see. And it helps you deal with the, which one? The love and the hate. It's like, I love you, but I hate when you do that to me. Okay. It's the love and the hate. It's what sits in the heart. And then if you knew anything about hope therapy, I would tell you to do left wrist, first position, and then you hold it with your thumb going in deep, finger in the palm, wrap it around and do this. That's all you need to know is how to do this position. And you hold it and you think about what I just said. See, she says it resonates with her. Put it on the scale from 0 to 10, and you keep holding it in 10 being until you feel it gone. And then stay for a few extra seconds because you're probably at a 3. We want it gone.
Jolene.
Oh, okay. As soon as I hear that, I hear a song. Jolene. Oh, that'd have to be Dolly Parton.
Name.
Huh?
That's also my sister's name.
Oh, gotcha. Because I keep hearing, I think Dolly Parton singing now all of a sudden. Looks like you've been in a relationship with somebody that had pride issues because all of a sudden they show an erratic behavior and you have learned to create a phobia to some degree. And what happens is that all they have to do is like hold a grudge. Just a certain kind of gesture too. And all of a sudden your body's like going, okay, I'm backing away. You don't know you're doing it. They said, pay attention to how your body does it. Kind of feel it. Watch when you do it. Because once you do, you're going to go, I don't want to do that. And then you're going to get some of your strength back. And you may actually pull the plug on what's happening. Because I don't know if they know they're doing it. Because it could be to do you have a child? Because they're showing me like 3 years old, but I don't know if it's you or if you have a child. But they're saying it's when somebody acts like a 3-year-old or there's energy of that 3-year-old. You don't know you're doing it. That was for Jolene. So that would be good, Gwendolyn. Yeah, it'll be fun, especially if you can help other people heal too. Because when people hear your story, it's better if you can have it in a video where another person, you can see it. Like, for instance, when I make Amy big, because then like right now, hold up what you're doing. She's bobble bonding. Who are you working on?
Oh, I'm just holding it over the candle.
Oh, she's cleaning it. Good job. Okay. So anyways, these healing tools, Medicine Woman Solution, we offer them, but contact Amy because that's her department to work on. Okay. You guys are great. And I appreciate it. Amy, thank you for being with me.
You're welcome.
So until next time, what do we say? We say you can resolve to evolve.
Oh.
Wait, what?
I want one. I can pay for one now.
You want to come on right now? Sure.
Tilly is telling Gwendolyn that.
That is so...
Talk
about paying it forward. Oh, when spirit moves, spirit moves. Bobble wands all over the place. We love them. All right, if that's the case, I will look for the let me get my thing up. So you decide if that's the case, Gwendolyn, you got to make a decision. If you want it to be like Amy, or you can have it like when it was Marie was on or Sonya was on when I had it. So you just hear the voice. That's up to you, but we would love for participation. This and the other option is to just have me do it, but there's such a delay with that. You know what I mean?
Julie said sending now.
Awesome. Got to get the right mouse. I got 2 mice, 2 mices to pieces. Yes, I have to get the right mouse so that I can. It's supposed to come through the email, but it has not been a cooperative little email. The bobble one It opens vortexes, it closes vortexes, it cleans vortexes. We have vortexes in our body and vortexes in our chakras. We have energy in our aura field, and we can move the energy. Energy transforms. It does never delete or nor create or destroy. It is about the transformation. So it is cleaning in and helping in. Sometimes, like yesterday, I was using it. My husband hurt his foot and the energy jammed, and it was coming out of it didn't come out the back of the foot, so his body was holding it. So I went and bobble wand and I pulled out the excess energy buildup. And then I actually put a frequency. We're made of frequencies. And there we go. Here it comes. And the frequencies. So I asked Spirit to help me balance the frequencies that's in your body, as above, so below. And lo and behold, I became a mirror, and I actually started watching how the bobble wand was not only, because when you work with it, you begin to feel how it pulls and it talks and does things. And it was actually, I could see the beam of the frequency do this. All right, so it has been paid, and it is for Gwendolyn, correct? Amy, am I correct? And if you'd like to come in the room, you get Zoom. All right, Zoom doesn't take long to download, and then you say join a room, and that's the number you type in, 121-893-288. If that's what you would like to do, then you have to decide whether you want to be seen or not seen. So I can put you in a different position. That's up to you. So, a Spirit loves that transition word, so it's got to find another one, man. That's all I got to say.
Kitten's getting her butt wanded.
Oh, okay, so that's Kitten. But Lily, she's how old? Lily's how old?
She is 16.
And she wasn't being playful. Tell us a little bit about how she did.
She was just a typical old cat, grumpy. And
so one day she decides, I says, well, use it on Lil. And so you did.
So it started, and the bobble, I mean, it was going.
Hold on, let me get you in the big screen. There, whoops. What was the bobble wand doing?
It was like going like this.
Right,
I'm
so,
making it go.
Yeah. And then how long did you go for? Do you remember?
I don't remember, probably 5 to 10 minutes. And then the next thing I know, the cat's like playing with my beads. And
yeah, because you wrote me immediately like, oh my gosh, you're not gonna believe what Lily's doing. And she's playing with Kitten, and I'm laughing, and I'm like, see, sometimes it's just moving the energy, giving it space to flow can really make a difference in a person's life, even in your space. I use the bobble wands all through my house, the corners, because the corners collect energy and energy dust, energy residue. And I have some that I create with a infusion. So you get a Q-tip, you put it in, and you can dip that into your oils. And then literally you start aiming it and start fusing with intention. When you start learning how to use them all, you can actually begin to do everything to change it. Whee! And it's good that Pilly likes hers. I love that. Okay, Vicky says, where can I buy one? All right. So Medicine Woman Solution has got them, but this is her category. I just say Amy, because she's decided to make them for me, so I don't have to. But I fuse them. So if you buy a personalized one, then I fuse the energy, so that you can start creating a wonderful, healthy relationship with your bobble one, because they make a heck of a difference when it's personally just for you. Then you have your standard one. Now you can have, in the personalized one, Reiki attunements, something very specific. I can't remember what the other ones were.
Chokure,
any of the Reiki symbols, pretty much. Seiki, yeah, that's another one.
Oh, if you're missing a note.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's a specialized one. Yes, if you're missing a certain note, which a lot of people do, then I will tell it to keep that imbalanced. So if you're missing A, then it knows to bring in A for that person. And then there's the infusion one. I don't have that handy. Do you have that handy on yours? I don't know what I must have used it in the other room and left it out there. But yeah, so you can see it here. Let's make it bigger. Oops, that's not it, Brenda. There. So the tip comes in and out. See, now she just put a fresh tip in there. And then when you're done with it, now it should fit nice and snug. Okay. And so then when you dip it, you don't lose it, or you pour it on. And then when you bobble it around, it helps the energy, clears it up, because sometimes your space needs certain frequencies. And when you're doing it, when you're healing people, even if you're not around them and you're using intention, the smell will help trigger. Sounds weird, but we are sensory beings. They can make a major difference, just so you know. Yes, so Billy got two, yes.
This one's a little loose.
All right, so Gwendolyn says she doesn't know how to download Zoom, or she doesn't know how to get into the room. Okay, that's fine. How can I do this? No, I'm not friends with her. Otherwise, I'd send you a link, because that's easy enough to do, is to invite. Copy. Oh, I know how to do it. Amy, can you do that invite? Do you got the invite on your side or not?
Yeah.
Oops. If you can get a copy of that invite, then what can happen is she can put it on the fan page. Okay, never mind. She just wants it this way. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. Is there anything specific? And that is directed to Gwendolyn, if there's anything specific that you would like to talk about. Or the healing. If you have something physical, if not, I will just begin. And so, Amy, you're going to have to just, she said, Vicki says, send her a link. Well, it's about communicating with Amy, and she's in the classes and all that. So, you just chit chat away, and she'll tell you the prices and the shipping and all that. And if you're looking, she makes them. She intuitively just picks out the stones to suits you, and
yes, and also have some that are already made up for, like, just like a general one.
But Spirit also creates all these already in advance about who's going to get them. So, it is still, again, trusting. Okay. I'm just going to go and health and financials. Okay. Well, the fifth chakra has a lot to do with being able to metabolize what's going on in life. Immediately, they say how you respond to people's energies. You have a tendency to contract your energy. What does that do in your financial world and your relationship world? It can take your second chakra. So that's where the energies are. The second chakra and the fifth chakra. Inside the second chakra, that has to do with data centers. This is where you can recall all of your memories, and good or bad. And the fifth chakra is the way that you have choice and you express yourself, and can you speak up? Can you do these things? So in this case, you respond. And so the second chakra is that any of the chakras, 1 through 7, is called nesting, which means you'll find the chakras 1 through 7 within that second chakra. What does that even mean? It means that for you, your relationship of how you hold a belief, make a decision, is that you can't be yourself. When that happens, you can't be around yourself around egotistical people. It's kind of like how they dictate the show. There's a part of you that, without knowing consciously, your body is saying you're kind of worried. When that happens, then you all of a sudden build up this contempt, and you can feel like laser beams can pop out of your eyes. But at the same time, you feel like they're doing that to you, which creates a certain anxiety. So there's an interesting energy field that's going back and forth. You have a sense of vulnerability. You do not want to open up your heart when your first, second, and third chakra feels like it's in danger. Safety, security, or stability is off because you're like, I can't be vulnerable. What does that mean? It also means that you can't put yourself in the ring and take risk and to do stuff that you want to do. So when that occurs, I see that when you were 4 years old, there was a consequences when you took a risk and you stood up and said what you wanted. And you kind of had an energy exchange where you reserved into the habit you have now. When I'm looking, you sit back and you yearn a lot. If this is true, understand yearning is means it'll never come to pass. So if yearning, if you feel it, know it, when you go try to manifest it, then you're not going to get it because you have to yearn. If you had it, you couldn't yearn. So it's how you have a relationship with yearning. I would definitely say you'd want to get rid of it. What it comes with that age, they said there's a greater fear of judgment because the people taught you in the spaces you're supposed to judge other people and based on your belief systems. And there's a part of you that didn't really kind of want to play with that. It's like you're watching it, you started to do it, but you have been waking up to the point where you don't want to do it. So there's a bit of a confusion. That's a good thing. That means you're going to eventually make a choice to see something different. Energetically, I feel that your polarity is off. What does that mean? First of all, you can get easily scrambled. So when you are reading something, can you comprehend it? Can you speak? Can you, if you were to read it out loud, can you do it with fluidity? Do you feel like when you're around people, then all of a sudden you feel wiped out? Then I would say you need to do a Wayne Cook posture. We will have to send you, or you look it up at medicinewomansolution.weebly.com. Look under healing tools and look for Wayne Cook posture. Your body also is quite easily influenced. My head just swam. When somebody walks in the room, what is it very specific? People that don't feel unworthy, it's not that they see you unworthy, it's that they don't feel unworthy. They feel unworthy. They're like, I don't feel worthy enough. And it's like, whatever the energy is around them, it throws you off. And your body then begins to mimic. So you could be feeling like really good. And the next minute you're like, if you could label it, you'd be like, I feel worthless. I feel like a nobody is what I hear. And now you're taking people's energies on. You need to look up Celtic Weave, Connecting Heaven and Earth, and the hookup. You need to kick those people's energies out, start building up your body, keep it protected, wiped out. Yeah, that's a very good yes. Yeah, see, you already know this. So you need to do those three and do Wayne Cook so your brain will start to balance so you don't have to be affected. You got to start building that up. Strengthen. You also have a magnetic issue. So which one is that? Is it magnetic altogether? No. Okay. So your kidney meridian needs to have a magnet. So you need to get a refrigerator magnet. Nothing expensive. It's and you're going to use front side and back side of that magnet. And you're like, but I don't have one. Fine. Use your hand because that is a magnet within itself. You're going to go to your ankles and understand that where the big toe is, and you're going to go all the way to the ankle. Behind the ankle is the point. Okay. And that is, and you're like, well, I'm not sure. Well, fine. Put in kidney point 3, meridian kidney point 3 in Google, and you'll see where it's at. You're going to take your magnet, and let's imagine that this is the point you're going to take, and you're going to go back and forth with that magnet or with your hand. Do it about 12 times. And then you're going to go onto that point, kidney 3 point, and you're going to start rubbing good 30 times. Do both ankles. Do that. And what's going to happen is then you're going to end it with this. And you're going to give it a little bit of oomph. Or if you feel like you need to rub. because we had to get that kidney meridian to start to cooperate, because it's that you don't want to be vulnerable, but you can't stop being vulnerable because it was a particular thing that you did. Who was I just doing? Gwendolyn. Gotcha. Okay. Didn't we just do a Jolene, or is that a different one?
One for you.
What's that?
Yeah, we did.
I'd love to hear what you have to say to me. We already did one, Jolene. I don't know what the timestamp was. Do anybody know what the approximate time it was?
I'm going to guess about 2:40.
A half hour ago.
10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago. So,
Minutes ago. Something like that.
right now, according to my clock, what is the clock? Where is my clock? I can't see the clock. Can you see a timer on yours? No.
We are at 2:59 and 45 seconds.
So when you go in, notice that you need to go back 2:40 and 6. So it says 2:59. Go back to at least 2:40 or 2:45. It's somewhere in there.
Yes, you.
Yeah.
It's you, Jolene.
It's when I heard Jolene, and it was Jolene had, I'm going to double check. I can't do it. How do I double check? We got to find out if there's another Jolene. No, it is a Jolene Matthews. It says, wow, is that a different face? No, it's the same woman. No, it is the same one. Yeah. Yeah. But we didn't put a timestamp. We thought you were there. All right. Nah. Energy moves through me. Energy's in front of me. I know, 3 hours. Yeah, I can do up to 4. And without even going pee. Because when I'm channeling spirit, it's different than being Brenda. And when that happens, then it's a different relationship. My chakras all line up. My body starts to hum properly. And that's so that I can read the mirrors. And when I read the mirrors, then my body becomes healthier. Okay, so that's what happens there. Okay, I'm going to go now, and we will see. Remember, come join me. Be on my fan page. That way you can, Facebook fan page for you on YouTube. You'll know when I come on. Did you do Alicia? No, I don't think we did. I cannot see Alicia. Did you see Alicia?
Yeah, it just flipped off though.
Well, if Alicia's here, that's great, but otherwise I don't know.
She came in. I saw her and she asked for one. And also Julie Noel.
Oh, Julie Noel and yes. So we will do Julie but who's the first one? I can't read it. What was the name? Lost it. Wow. Alicia. So we're going to do Alicia first, and then we'll do Julie. Hopefully they're still here. Alicia. Oh, you got a big, huge guard up. So as it's mirroring back to me, you're trying to make sure people can't see you. So I'm just asking Spirit, okay, then let's just forget about that. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to give? And he says, well, tell her that she has to address how she trusts and distrust. You're trusting the wrong people and you distrust the right people, but you have to change your people. Oh, okay. It's like the movie All About Steve, where Sandra Bullock needs to go and find her peeps. So you're changing your frequency and you're ready to bring in new people. And then to do that, there is understanding that, while you're going through this minefield, it is redefining what trust is. And part of it is that the trust and the distrust that's out here. Go inside and begins to trust with your heart. It's hard to do when your chakras are going now. So you have to learn how to use your gut intuition, and you have to learn, say, thank you, Spirit, with grace and ease. Show me what trust and distrust is, and show me with that, in a way that I won't reject it or I have to have a bitch slap. We want a nice whispering opportunity. When it comes to Julie, Noel, what do we point to? I see the word insecure. It's actually written inside the aura. Really? Well, what does that mean? It means that it's what causes you to take action, not a reaction, an action. Oh, wow. I would assume that's a reaction. Okay, so Back to the Future, where you see Michael J. Fox, and they call him a yellow belly or coward or whatever it was. All of a sudden, he goes into action. Now, I would normally say it's a reaction, but it says literally it's in your field that you are meant to. And I want to say, is this a habit? And they said, no, it is part of. Are you talking about? No, they're saying it's what you do towards yourself. If you keep yourself insecure, then you won't have to get hurt by anybody. Really? That can happen. Forgive yourself and begin to understand that that's what your little... when you're being conceived. So this is not even yours. Do you want to roll that out? No. It's what you've learned. Okay, so take that. Say, show me if this connects. If it connects, great. If it doesn't, don't. But if it connects and you get it and it's familiar and you understand, you can use a healing tool to change that. Okay, so just to let you know. You got, so did I miss anybody else?
I don't see anybody else.
Okay. What do we always like to say, Amy? Resolve to evolve.
Heal instead of deal.
And you can heal that and stay blessed. I didn't hear you say it. Say it, Amy. Say it. Say it.
Stay blessed.
Yeah, that's it. And we thank you for being with us as well. And I am going to say, stay blessed.
Outro.